a team of 4 villains dash away, holding many jewels and other goodies from their recent job. The leader laughs. Hee hee. Great haul, boys, he says. This'll make us a lot of money. And no stupid pro-heroes are gonna stop us, says one of the minions until he gets propelled into a light pole, knocking him out. What the hell, says one of the others. So, I go walking for one day and find a group of villains trying to cause trouble. The villains shake in fear at the sound of the voice. They turn around to see a terrifying sight. Cues My Hero 1's Justice Battle Theme 4. Before them was a man with green hair and eyes. He wore a green jumpsuit with white gloves and boots, a silver respirator with 8 holes, and a red belt. He also wore a red cape. The villain shook in fear. It's him, says Minion 3. The #1 pro-hero, Deku. We're so dead, says Minion 2. The boss growls as he grabs a gun. Quit gawking and shoot him. The villains fire their weapons at the pro-hero, who dashes around, avoiding them. He's too fast, says Minion 2 before Deku throws a roundhouse kick at his face, sending him into a building. Crap, says Minion 3 as Deku aims his fingers at him. Delaware smash, he flicks him into the same building, leaving a crater. Good thing this building was scheduled for demolition anyway. He looks at the boss, who tries to pull the trigger, only to hear a click. Oh no, he says as Deku powers up for one final attack. Wait, no. 5% Detroit smash, he punches the boss into the nearby wall. Disgusting how villains continue to plague this society. He hears some loud cheering. Cue My Hero Academia Ost All Might's theme. He turns around to see a bunch of civilians clapping and cheering for him. He just defeated those villains in about 5 minutes, says one onlooker. Deku strikes a heroic pose. Fear not, everyone. Why? Because I am here. Oh my god, he's so handsome and strong, says a girl as she and her girlfriend squeal in excitement. When I grow up, I want to be like him, says a young boy holding a Deku action figure. The #1 hero smiles as he signs an autograph for the kid. What's your name, kid? He asks. Yuuki Kenshin, the boy says. Yuuki, huh? A good name. Deku gives him the autograph. Keep on reaching for that dream. That's what I did when I was in your shoes. The #1 hero dashes away as people chant his name. Deku, 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 he smiles. I've finally done it, All Might. I can save people and put a smile on their faces. A couple kilometers away, train to Kamino. Q JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is unbreakable Ost a lurking evil. On the train, a figure in a hoodie sits, mixed with other people. He had pale skin, the area around his eyes were wrinkled, and his hair was light blue. This man was Tamura Shigaraki. His red eyes looked at the TV, seeing the news about Deku's heroic deed. He starts scratching his neck. Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, the new #1 hero. He's been a pain in my ass ever since the Usja incident. Suddenly, he feels something on his knee and looks to see a girl talking to her boyfriend, her bag resting on his leg. So my dad has been so annoying as of lately. He thinks I spend too much time with you, says the girl. He should definitely chill out, he says. I know, right? That's I'm moving into your house. Shigaraki slides the bag off his leg, alerting the girl. Hey creep. Why are you touching my bag? Something wrong, asks the boyfriend. Nothing. Just a complete weirdo, she says. Tamura starts to scratch his neck a bit faster. The bus reaches the stop. We're here, the boyfriend says as they get off the train. Suddenly, Shigaraki bumps into his shoulder, dropping his bag. Oh, hey dumbass, watch where you're going. The couple begins to walk away. You saw how he was scratching his neck? Ha, what a creep. Shigaraki begins to smile evilly. Master, time to test out the new gift you left for me, he says to himself, following the couple. Deku's apartment. Q Bleach Ost here to stay. Izuku walks to his apartment. He opens the door and walks in. I'm back, he calls out. He looks to see his 2 precious women, his girlfriend Ochako Uraraka and their adopted daughter Eri. Eri's rewind quirk allows her to restore people back to their normal forms. She used it to help Deku in her fight with Overhaul when he was still a student. Welcome back, Deku, says Ochako. Welcome back, Papa, Eri says, giving him a big hug. Deku smiles as he returns the hug and kisses Ochako's cheek. How are you guys doing? Good. By the way, you got a letter from Uncle Ida. Eri gives him the letter, which he reads. Oh nice. He wants us to come to a class 1 reunion. Everyone's going to be there. Nice, it'll be fun, says Ochako. Random apartment. Q JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is unbreakable Ost killer. The couple from the train station walk into their apartment. The girl smiles. So Ikika said her boyfriend got her some new earrings. You should definitely try to get me some. The boyfriend chuckles. Next time, he says as he shuts the door, only to have it get stopped by Shigaraki, who walks in. The hell are you doing here? Get out! The villain walks forward and touches his forehead, causing him to rapidly decay before exploding. I guess you don't have any quirks. What's your name? He asks as the girl falls on the ground in a daze. He points to his neck, adorned with scratch marks. Red, isn't it? When I get angry or annoyed, it itches a ton. I believe I asked for your name. My boyfriend. What did you do? Don't ask a question with a question, Shigaraki snaps as he pokes her forehead. Didn't they tell you that in school? I'm asking for your name. Akari. Akari, huh? Nice name. Araki, I have a request. Would you mind scratching this weirdo's neck? It would make me so happy. Akari proceeds to softly scratch his neck. Not too hard now. Please help, she says, sobbing. Forgive me. Forgive you. Now wait a minute. I'm not mad. I love doing this kind of stuff. I was born with this destiny. By the way, I heard you asking your boyfriend for some new earrings. Here, he left these for you as a present. She looks to see her boyfriend's ears hooked to hers. Ah! She screams in terror. Araki, you have such wonderful hands. Shigaraki touches Araki with all 5 fingers, causing her to disintegrate, except for her hands. Don't worry, I'll put them to great use. Reunion location, Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is unbreakable Ost Morio Cho Radio. Deku and his 2 girls get ready for the party. Deku wears a white t-shirt and green pants. Ochako wears a pink blouse and a white shorts, and Eri wears a blue dress. Ready, Eri? Asks Deku. Ready, Papa, she says with a smile. The group proceeds to walk to the location, to where they meet their friend Tenya Ida and his girlfriend Mei Hatsum. He waves over to them. Midoriya, Uraraka, Eri, so nice of you to come, he says. Nice to see you again, Ida, says Uraraka. You too, Hatsum. Heyo, says the pink-haired scientist. The group walks in to see their friends. Q's Naruto Ost afternoon of Konoha. Deku smiles to see most of his friends. They look and waves. Hey Midoriya, says Mina. Nice of you to come, says Ijiro. Thanks Kirishima. Ashido. So how does it feel to be #1, says Denki. The #1 hero smiles. Like $1,000,000, #4. The electricity user had recently improved his quirk, minimizing his risk of burning out. It's because of this, Denki Kaminari became the #4 pro hero. Yo Kaminari, Jiru's about to sing, calls out Zero. Denki turns around to see his girlfriend Kayuka Jiru holding an electric guitar. Sue, cue the music, she calls out with a smile. You got it, Ribbit, the frog girl says with a thumbs up. She presses a button and the song plays. Cues Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. Jiru starts to strum her guitar to the beat of the song. She winks to Denki before signing. Purple Haze was in my brain. Lately things don't seem the same. Actin' funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Purple haze was in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. You've got me blowing my mind. Is it tomorrow or just the end of time? After she sings, the others clap for her. Minta looks to Kaminari. You got a good one, Denki, the ball-haired midget says. Hell yeah, I did, he says as he steps up on the stage. Jiro gives him the microphone. Knock them dead, jamming way, she says, giving him a kiss on the cheek before stepping off the stage. Kaminari chooses his song and hits play. Cues Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. As the song plays, Jiro smiles as she knew this was one of her favorite songs. Kaminari smiles as the lyrics appear. The rusted chains of prison moons are shattered by the sun. I walk a road, horizons change. The tournament's begun. The purple piper plays his tune. The choir softly sing 3 lullabies in an ancient tongue. For the court of the Crimson King, the keeper of the city keys, put shutters on the dreams. I wait outside the pilgrim's door with insufficient schemes. The Black Queen chants the funeral march. The cracked brass bells will ring to summon back the fire witch to the court of the Crimson King. After Kaminari finishes, everyone claps as he bows. Jiro smirks as her boyfriend walks down. She gives him a kiss. Thanks, babe, he says with a smile. The door opens, earning everyone's attention. They look to see the #2 hero Shoto Todoroki and his fiancée Momo Yayurazu. Todoroki, Yao Momo, nice to see you, says Deku. The half-hot, half-cold user smiles as he gives his rival a fist bump. Bakugo, who is hanging at the other table drinking punch, scoffs. So icy hot and Ponytail showed up, he says. What took you so long? The two look at the explosive hero. If you must know, Bakugo, we had some extra work to do, says Momo. I apologize for being late. Bakugo shrugs. Hey Deku, I challenge you to an arm wrestling match. And you better not use your quirk. The #1 hero looks to his old friend. You sure you want to do this, Kaken, he says with a smile. I could beat you, Bakugo smirks. You could try, he says as he gets ready. Undisclosed location, cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle Ost and Riko Pucci's Theme Dawn of Destiny. Shigaraki walks into the bar, where his group awaits. The group consisted of Himiko Toga, Dabai, Mr. Compress, Twice, and Spinner. Well, the gang's all here, he says with his trademark smile. Now, shall we go wreak havoc? Ooh, I can't wait to suck up some more blood, Toga says, holding her knife. Easy psycho, says Dabai, annoyed by the girl's excitement. Don't be so hasty. Time to carry on Stain's legacy, says Spinner. All right, let's do this. Nah, too much work, says Twice, contradicting himself. Time to show off some of my new tricks, says Mr. Compress. Now, the game begins, says Shigaraki as he leads them out. Class 1 a reunion, cues Boku no Hero Academia os My Hero Academia. Deku and Bakugo get ready for their arm wrestling match. Everyone gathers, excited to see the outcome. Oh man, this is going to be intense, says Kaminari. Who do we bet on? Kaminari, betting is not the hero thing to do, scolds Ida. Although, I put my money on Midoriya. I think Bakugo has it, says Kirishima. Everyone places their bets. On Deku's side was Ochako, Eri, Ida, Todoroki, Momo, Kaminari, Jiro, Tsuyu, Aoyama, and Mina. For Bakugo, it was Kirishima, Shiro, Mainta, and Sato. Takoyami, Koda, and Hagakure just wanted to see the match. Momo moderates the match. Ready, set, go. The two rivals fight as they move against the other's will. Deku starts to push him over, but Bakugo moves his hand. Come on, Bakugo. You have him, cheers Kirishima. Don't lose Midoriya, says Todoroki in an encouraging voice. Deku starts to push back. I'll admit, you've gotten stronger, Deku. I can see why All Might chose you. But still, it won't be enough to beat me, says Bakugo as he pushes Deku's hand closer to the other side. Same to you, Kaken. That's why I won't lose this time. Suddenly, in one quick motion, Deku pushes his hand to the other side, winning the match. Papa won, says Eri with a smile. Deku holds out his hand. Good fight, my friend, he says. Bakugo sighs before smiling. Next time, you won't be so lucky, says the explosion hero, shaking his hand. Even though he couldn't stand Deku, he still had some respect for him. Hey guys. This chapter might be coming a little bit later than usual. I was a bit occupied yesterday. Now, time for the next chapter. Tamura Shigaraki has formed his team of villains back up. Do our heroes know of the impending threat coming their way? Or will Tamura avenge the fall of his master? Let's get rolling with the next chapter. Class 1 A Reunion. Q's Dragon Ball FighterZ lobby theme. The group of pro-heroes chat and laugh, except for Bakugo, who was just acting like his usual tsundere self. Kaminari was entertaining everyone with his jokes, making everyone laugh. Deku and Todoroki were talking with their respective girlfriends next to them. So Todoroki, what does it feel like being the number 2 hero? Asks Midoriya. Shoto smiles. It feels like I am no longer bound by my father's ambitions, he says. I am free to choose my place. Ever since Todoroki would only use his ice, trying to reject his father Endeavor's power. Deku then helped him realize it was his own power, making him accept the flames. Although he hasn't forgiven him, he views him as a good hero. Midoriya, you helped me accept this power. For that, I am grateful that you are my rival. He and Deku have fought on 2 occasions, their first UA Sports Festival, which Todoroki won, and a couple years ago at their most recent festival, when Deku won. You helped me too, Todoroki. You've inspired me to go beyond my weaknesses and try to push forward. Ochako and Momo look on. They've become very strong, says Ochako. They have. I regret counting Deku out during the Until days at UA, Momo says. Originally, she didn't have a high opinion of Midoriya, but she never looked down on him. Throughout the times, she had heard of his triumphs, Asich, Stain, Todoroki. She then began to respect the young hero. Papa and Uncle Shoto are awesome, says Eri with a smile. Kamino Prefecture, Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ost Black Sabbath. The group of villains walk down the street in their disguises. Tamura smirks as he notices everyone on the street happy. They have no idea how I'm going to enjoy slaughtering them, he says in his head. I will carry out my master's will and then destroy that pesky Izuku Midoriya. So Shigaraki, asks Spinner. How shall we carry out Stain's ambitions today? The villain starts to scratch his neck in irritation. This lizard prick is pissing me off, he says in his head. Stain this, stain that. That stupid hero killer has been a thorn in my side since Hasu. Shigaraki hated Stain after he foiled his attempts during the Hasu incident, where he sent Nomus to wreak havoc on the city. However, the pro-heroes and Stain got more recognition, invoking his anger. He looks to Spinner with a smile. There's one guy I need to get rid of, Shigaraki says. We're gonna make sure that the heroes know that we're back. Ooh, can I suck some blood? Says Toga with a crazy smile. Shigaraki looks to the crazy girl. You can suck up all the blood you want. Toga squeals in delight. Thanks to Tamura-kun, she says, hugging him. You really made my day. Heh, they're so easy to manipulate. After all this is done, I can cut some loose ends. The group starts to approach the place. Now, let's burn this place to the ground, says Dabai, his hand lit with blue flames. End of reunion. Q's Naruto Shippuden Ost Yamagasami Mountain Haze. The group waves goodbye to each other as they head home. Eri holds the hands of Ochako and Deku. Wasn't that a lot of fun? Eri, asks Ochako. The white-haired girl smiles. It was very fun, she says. Seeing all of you and Papa's friends again was very nice. Yes it was, says Deku. Getting to arm wrestle Kaken was awesome. You did great, Deku, says Ochako, giving him a peck on the cheek. The #1 hero starts to blush. You always win, no matter what obstacle. She's right, Papa, says Eri. Deku smiles. Thanks, girls. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Underground safe. Cue My Hero Academia villain theme. A lone man hides in the underground safe, worried after what he had just seen. He starts to hyperventilate as he hears screaming and slashing resound throughout the entire building. I can't go out there. They'll kill me. I'm better off staying in here. Outside, Tamura stands watching the carnage his group is committing. Yes. Kill them all, he says with an evil smile. Dabai looks to one guy. Please, don't hurt me. I have a family, he begs. The villain is about to burn him to a crisp until Spinner throws a knife at his cheek. What's the meaning of that, Spinner? Dabai says with an annoyed look. Dabai, this isn't right. This isn't the way stain would work, the lizard man says with a disgusted look. The cremation villain sighs. Are you seriously growing soft? Dabai, he's right, says Toga with a sad look. This would rarely happen, as she was usually sadistic. This isn't what Mr. Staney would want. Tamira scoffs. Well, if that's how you feel, then you can die with these pathetic losers, he yells before kicking Toga into a wall. Gak. Toga, calls out Spinner before Dabai launches a blast of fire at his chest, knocking him against the wall. Pathetic, he says as the lizard man is rendered unconscious. Tamira grabs Toga by her hair, using only 4 fingers. You think that your pathetic stain is the best? No, I'm the best. The young girl begins to sob. You will never be as good as Mr. Staney. Tamira, enraged by her words, punches her in the face, knocking her out. Dabai, burn this place to the ground, Dabai smirks. You don't have to tell me twice, he says as his flames rush around everywhere. Spinner's eyes flutter open to see the 2 villains walk away until he hears a cry for help. He looks to see a family surrounded by flames, a piece of concrete about to crack and fall on top of them. The lizard man slowly stands up and begins to rush over. The concrete breaks away as Spinner jumps in, shielding them. The hard slab breaks on his back, cracking his spine. He winces as he looks to Toga's unconscious body, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, Toga, he says in his head. Looks like we're going to die here. The flames begin to rage wildly as the place burns down. Intro, cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind Op 2 Trader's Requiem. After intro, Deku and Ochako's apartment, cues Morning by Edvard Grieg. Deku and Ochako wake up as sunlight pours into their bedroom through the blinds. The 9th user of One for All kisses his girlfriend as they head downstairs, Eri sitting on the couch. Morning, Papa. Morning, Mama, says the white-haired girl with a smile that brightened their day even more. Morning, Eri, says Ochako. You ready for breakfast? She nods. Deku and Ochako got started on breakfast, making pancakes, bacon, and orange juice. Eri sits at the table with wide eyes. This looks good. She claps her hand. Thanks for the food. The group starts to eat their breakfast, enjoying each other's company. After they finish their food, Deku gets a call. Who is it, Papa? Asks Eri in wonder. It's Todoroki. I wonder what's up. He answers the phone. Hey, Todoroki. What is it? Midoriya, we have an issue, he says. I need you to meet me at the address I am about to text you. Okay, I'll be there, Deku says as he hangs up. Sorry, girls. Duty calls. Have a great day, Papa, says Eri as she kisses Deku's cheek. You too, he says as he kisses Uraraka and Eri before leaving in his hero costume. League of Villains HQ, cues Juni Taisen Ostbor. Tamira sits at his bar with Dabai. They both cackle at the destruction they caused. Hee hee. Now all those pathetic heroes will know of our return, says the Decay user. And those 2 idiots Spinner and Toga can watch from the deepest depths of hell, says Dabai. All they cared about was Stain's legacy. Well, I say forget him. He failed. We won't. Correct, Dabai. But first we need some more to join us, says Shigakari with an evil smile. You have some in mind. I have quite a few. Mr. Compress, for instance. And the others are rumored to be so deadly, even All Might had trouble holding them back. Hee hee. So you think they'll give Midoriya a lot of trouble? Even better, they might kill that pest, says Shigaraki with a twisted smile. All the better, says Dabai as he smirks. Burned down building, cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is unbreakable as the Stardust Man appears. Deku arrives at the burnt building, where Shoto and Kaminari are conversing with the cops. The number 2 and number 4 hero see their friend and wave to him. Hey Deku. Over here, says Kaminari. Hey Kaminari. So what happened? Asks the number 1 hero. Last night, this building was burnt down. Everyone inside went with it, says Todoroki. Do you think it was a villain's quirk or just some random accident? Asks Deku. We can't be sure. The building was burned from the inside, so both are possible, says Kaminari. Suddenly, they see some rocks rumble and hear pained groans. Someone's still alive, says one of the cops. Let's over there and help them, says Deku. The trio help lift the rocks with the cops. After removing them, they see a shocking sight. Q's bleach ost #7 creeping shadows. It can't be, says Kaminari. What is he doing here, says Shoto. They were looking at Spinner, who was guarding the family of 3. He's with the League of Villains. Deku looks over to see Toga's body under some rocks. He rushes over to check her pulse. This one's still alive, he calls out. Todoroki grabs Spinner by his collar. Were you the one who did this? The lizard man looks into the number 2 hero's eyes. It wasn't me, he says weak. Don't give me that, Shoto yells. You were part of the League of Villains. You have been responsible for so many incidents. Stop, everyone looks to the young boy, who stand up. He saved me and my mommy and daddy. Him and the girl. Kaminari looks with shock. How can this be? The electricity user says in shock. They hear sobbing to see Toga awaken. Spinny, you're okay, she says as she rushes and hugs him. Toga, you're alive, he says, returning the hug. The cops surround them. Shuichi, Spinner, Iguchi, and Himiko Toga, you are hereby under arrest for destruction of property and working with the League of Villains. Come quietly or we will use force. Spinner looks down in shame as he drops his weapons and raises his hands, much to everyone's shock. Toga does the same as the cops handcuff them. They're turning themselves in, says Kaminari. Why would they? Maybe I should talk to them at the station, says Deku. He walks up to the chief and talks to him. Understood. When we get back, you may talk to them, he says. Musatafu Prison, Q's Nanbaka Ost the fortress on an isolated island. Spinner and Toga are guided out of the police vehicle as the guards send them to checking. After that, they send them to solitary confinement, putting them both in straitjackets and muzzles before locking them in their rooms. Spinner looks to the ceiling. Never thought I would willingly go to prison, he says. 15 minutes later, a guard shows up. All right, get moving. You have a visitor, says the guard as he guides the lizardman out of his cell to the visitor room, where Toga sits too. Toga, why are you here? He asks. I was called up. You too? Spinner nods as they see a familiar face appear, Deku himself. It's you, Izuku Midoriya, or should I call you Deku? I have no preference, says Deku as he sits. But what I want to know is what happened at that building. Toga and Spinner look to each other and nod. Shigaraki told us that it was a heinous company, conducting experiments on people, says Spinner. He said it would have to be destroyed. But then I realized this company was a hero benefactor company that takes donations from heroes so that other people can be helped. The violence was starting to make us sick, so we chose to rebel against Tamura, says Toga. It wouldn't be what Mr. Staney would want. Izuku looked at the 2 villains with pity. These 2 risked their lives to try and stop Shigaraki and even protected a family from getting crushed, he says in his head. They deserve to have a chance at redemption. He walks over to the chief and tells him the story. The chief nods as he speaks into his calm. Himiko Toga and Shuichi Iguchi are innocent regarding the building. They are to be released. The guards release Toga and Spinner as they walk out with Deku. Q's Naruto Shippuden Ost Utsusemi Man of the World. Why did you do this, Midoriya? What is it that makes you believe in us? Spinner asks. You have the look in your eyes, a look of guilt and pensiveness, Deku says. Which is why I believe in your potential as heroes. Toga starts to cry as she hugs the #1 hero. Oh, thank you, Izuku-kun. I'm sorry for all I did to you and the others. Please forgive me. Deku returns the hug. It's okay, Toga. You didn't know any better. Tamura just used you. He grits his teeth as he looks to the city. I'll make sure he doesn't get away with all the people he's murdered. I became the #1 hero to save people like All Might did, and that's what I intend to do. Spinner looks to the #1 hero. Izuku Midoriya, you are a really great person. I am in your debt, he says to himself. Undisclosed location. A group of cops walk down the streets in their disguises and arrive at an underground passage. They had been hearing about reports of missing people around this area. They ventured deep in to find a wall with carvings of men embedded in it. What's up with these carvings? Asks one cop as he walks to get closer to the carvings. He puts his hand on them. Be careful. I have a bad feeling about this, one of his friends says. The cop inspects the wall and notices a hole in its forehead. What's this? He looks into it before a metal horn stabs him through the head. The others recoil in fear. What the hell? Those aren't carvings, they're villains. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Tendency Ost Awaken Pillar Man theme. The figure's eyes open as he stares at the cops. They recoil in fear. Quick, pistols ready, yells the leader. The figure busts out of the wall in a menacing manner before cracking his neck. You pigs think you can stop us? Don't make me laugh, he says as another figure breaks out of the wall. Now die, the new villain says nonchalantly as he dashes around the cops. Suddenly, their hands end up getting stuck together. Our hands, they're stuck together. The leader looks in fear until the original villain stabs him through the head with his finger. The cops' bodies are suddenly sucked clean of all organs and fluids, leaving them as flat pieces of skin on the ground. The villain walks up to the wall and puts his hands on it. Now arise, my masters! Two other figures break free from the wall and stand. Time to get revenge, says one with wavy purple hair. Toga and Spinner's new hideout, cues Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. Deku finds Toga and Spinner a new hideout to lay low. Spinner goes to his room and looks in the mirror. What have I become, he says to himself. I wanted to be like Stain so much, I forgot what he truly fought for. In Toga's room, she looks into her mirror. I thought that this destruction was fun, but I was so wrong. Innocent people get hurt, villains laugh at their expense. She grits her teeth. How could I have been so blind? Both Spinner and Toga look up. It's time to make a change. Starting today, I'm going to become a hero. The four figures had split up, searching for a certain person. One of the leaders walks alone to see a puppy walking near him. The poor thing looked tired and exhausted. It looked to the man, whimpering. The man starts to walk away from the dog, which starts to despondently walk away. It starts to cross a street until it sees a car with two men driving it while drinking sake. The car was a couple meters away from hitting it. The man suddenly grows a curved blade from his arm, which suddenly moves on its own. The car swerves away, just missing the puppy. Hey man, drive the car right, one guy says drunk before looking at his friend's hands. Hey, what happened to your arms, man? The friend looks to see his hands stuck to the steering wheel while cut from his arms. Huh, what the? My hands! The car hit a curve, causing it to flip over and crash in a fiery explosion. The leader continues his trek. Now, to find Shigaraki. Before we were sealed away, Tamura made a promise that he would work with us, and we will make the heroes pay. Soon, they will feel the power of the four great demons. Suddenly, he sees a guy standing in front of him. The man had light blue hair and a hood. The leader knew this man. There's no doubt, it is you, Tamura Shigaraki. Welcome back. Hello, sir, Shigaraki says with a smile. I was just coming to see you. I'm putting together a new team. Alosir smiles. When do we start? Next morning, Denki in Jiru's apartment, cues Tender Lover by Babyface. Denki wakes up to see his beautiful girlfriend sleeping next to him. She was wearing a black tank top and purple shorts that accentuated her sexy backside. The electricity user kisses her forehead before he heads downstairs to make breakfast. Make the best breakfast for the best girlfriend ever, he says as he starts by cooking up some pancakes. He then grabs some bacon and fries it up. He then hears some chuckling. Never knew you could cook so awesomely, says Jiru as she watches from behind. Denki smiles. Anything for my sexy girlfriend. The earphone jack rocker blushes. She had always been self-aware of her body, feeling that she wasn't sexy enough, such as how her breasts weren't as big as Momo's. But Denki thought she was great the way she was and made her feel great. You really make me feel good, jamming way, she says as her boyfriend brings the food to the table. Anything for my rocker girl. They start to dig in and enjoy their day. Denki looks at his girl. I'll ask her later today, he says in his head. Tamura's base cues Mortal Kombat 2011 theme of Shao Kahn by Shinrei. Tamura smiles as his 4 new subordinates stand before him. Welcome back, my friends, he says. Shall we discuss the details of the plan to make all heroes pay? What do you have in mind, Shigaraki? Asks Alosir. The Decay user activates a holographic projection of Deku. This kid is Izuku Midoriya, the new #1 hero. He's All Might's apprentice. I want to make sure he's destroyed, both physically and mentally. I see. Then we go after the people he cares about, says the second in command Belil. His friends and his family. A great idea, says Dabai as his smile grows bigger. Then the heroes will bow to us. Later that night, Denki and Jiru's apartment. Cues gold by Prince. Jiru rests on the couch, watching TV. Denki went into the other room to prepare a present. He takes a deep breath. Here goes, he says as he walks into the living room with a small box in his hand. The earphone jack rocker sees him walk in. What's up, Jamming Wei? She asks in curiosity until she sees the box. Is he? She wonders in her head. Kyoka, he says, catching her off guard. He rarely uses her first name, only when he's about to do something sincere. Ever since I've had a huge crush on you. Sure, you might have made fun of me, but it was entertaining. What are you trying to say, Denki? She asks in bewilderment. Kaminari opens the box to reveal a ring with an amethyst in the center. Kyoka Jiru would be the Beyonce to my Jay-Z. Jiru looks with tears of happiness in her eyes as she covers her mouth. She hugs her new fiancé. Yes, I will marry you, she says as she gives him a kiss. She pulls away with a smirk. Now, why don't you and me head to the bedroom and have some fun? Let's do it, Denki says as they go to the bedroom. The electricity user lies on the bed shirtless as Kyoka takes off hers, revealing a sexy purple bra. She seductively crawls on the bed. I love you, Denki-kun, she says as she undoes her bra. I love you too, Jiru-chan, he says as she pulls off his pants to reveal his yellow boxers that had a bulge in the middle. Denki and Jiru walk into their favorite Italian restaurant, the music playing authentic Italian music to fit the atmosphere. Jiru wore a purple dress and matching high heels, while Denki wore a black tux and dress shoes. The waiter guides them to their seat. Wow, Denki, you really know how to treat a lady, says the earphone girl. Anything for my fiancé, he says, kissing her hand. One guy looking on is disgusted. Come on, did that mozzarella cheeseball just say that? It's so sweet my teeth feel like they're going fall out. Kaminari ignores the heckler and continues to flirt with his new fiancé. Your lipstick looks beautiful, Jiru. And your perfume, is it Chanel? So insightful, she says before kissing him. The heckler continues to scold. That's just ridiculous. How can any modern woman fall for such an obvious act? Disgusting. He looks to his plate of black spaghetti and smirks. Haha. This'll stick to that repugnant Casanova's face. He twirls some on his fork before slinging it towards Denki. Without looking, the #4 hero grabs his fork and catches the spaghetti before running an electric current through it. The noodles fly back and wrap around the heckler's face, shocking him. Now, shall we enjoy our meal, says Denki. Oh yes, say Jiru as their food is brought to them. After the meal, a waiter comes by. Excuse me, but there is a phone call for you, Mr. Denki Kaminari. Mamma mia, I guess it can't be helped. He walks over to the phone and answers it. Denki Kaminari. May I ask who this is? Denki, it's me, Deku. Oh hey man, what's up? I'm sorry to interrupt your date with Jiru, but there's a crime scene we need to investigate tonight. Alright, I'll see you later tonight, dude, Kaminari says before hanging up. League of Villains headquarters, cues Akim ga kill Os Murasame. Belial and Alosir stand over the city, looking down to the people. These filth don't even know what is coming, says Alosir. They'll be wiped out in the blink of an eye, says the second in command as one of their comrades kneels. Dumos, we have a mission for you. They turn to see a girl with 4 arms and a crown with horns on it. "What is my mission, masters?" she asks in a seductive tone. "Head back over to where we were sealed. I have a feeling others will be looking for us," says Alosar. "Your wish is my command," says Dumos as she heads out. "Now, we wait and see what happens," says the leader. "Do you think Dumos will be able to fight them?" asks Belial. "Heh, not in the slightest. All she is good for is being fodder," says Alosar. "But she should give them a good fight." Crime scene, cues Juni Taisen Ost consideration. Denki arrives at the meeting place. He sees Deku and Todoroki waiting for him. "Hey guys, what's up?" he asks. "It's down here," say Deku pointing to the underground entrance. "What the heck is that?" he asks in curiosity. "We don't know yet, but it could be dangerous." They walk down the steps to a dark room. "Todoroki, can we get some light?" asks Denki. The #2 Pro Hero Love lights his hands on fire, illuminating the entire room. They then look in shock as they see the floor littered with cops, drained of their insides and left as lifeless bags of skin. They then notice the wall, with 4 craters in them. "Something or someone burst from the wall and sucked these guys dry," says Todoroki. "But what?" asks Deku. Suddenly, they begin to hear footsteps. "Crap, they're coming." The 3 hide behind a pillar as Dumos marches down. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Tendency Ost propaganda. "I know you are here," she says as she looks around. "Come out now, and I'll make your death quick and painless." The heroes continue to hide until the female demon shatters the column they were hiding behind with a single punch. They jump back and prepare to fight. "Holy crap, she destroyed it with just 1 punch," says Denki. "Must be her quirk," says Deku as he begins to glow green. "So you're Izuku Midoriya, heir to All Might? I must say, you seem like you have a lot of potential. However, you must die for Lord Alosar's plans." Deku lunges at him. "Take this, 5% Detroit Smash." He punches at the demon, who ends up blocking with a set of ribs protruding from her body. "What the?" He jumps back. "So her quirk isn't strength," says Denki. "Let try this." He shoots a series of lightning bolts at her. Dumos smirks before contorting her body to avoid the attack. "She dodged my lightning." "I get it now. Her quirk is that she can manipulate her body structure at will," says Todoroki. "Very good, but knowing my ability won't help you defeat me," says Dumos as she poses dramatically. Todoroki charges forward with an ice kick towards Dumos, who uses her rib blades attack to counter the strike, only to have her arm freeze. The #2 hero smirks as he looks to his friends. "Denki, you're up," he calls out to his blonde friend, who smiles. "You got it, try this." The stun gun hero points a finger gun at Dumos and fires a thin blast of lightning at Dumos' chest, sending her back a couple feet. "Midoriya, do it." Deku charges his body up as he dashes forward and lands a roundhouse kick to his head. "One for all, full cowling. Shoot style, 10% St. Louis Smash." The impact of the kick knocks his head to the side, breaking her neck. "Got her." Dumos looks with a scowl as her head snaps back to its normal position. "You guys are strong, I'll give you that. However, I'll still end up killing you," she says as she charges forward and throws a punch at Denki. "Oh crap," he says as he tries to make a barrier of lightning, only to have her punch through it. Deku launches another attack only to get batted to the side and hits a wall. "Deku," calls out Todoroki only to get kicked in the chest with a force so strong, he coughs up blood. Dumos then grabs Denki by the throat. "You're cute. I might just let you live if you become my love forever." "No, I'm already engaged." "Very well, then I'll just kill her in front of you and make you accept me." Denki looks with wide eyes as he sees Jiru's smiling face. Flashback. The night Denki proposed to Jiru, cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders Ost sadness. The 2 lovers lie in B. Jiru was wearing her purple bras and panties, cuddling Denki, who was in his yellow boxers. "Denki-kun, what made you love me?" Jiru asks. Denki looked to his fiancée with a smile. "Well, you're cute and a badass. What guy wouldn't fall for that?" "Minta." The pervy classmate had not even made one advance on her since their time at UA. The bald-headed midget wouldn't know a girlfriend if she hit him upside the head, says Denki. You're an amazing person. So, you think I'm attractive? Even though my boobs aren't as big as Yaomomo's, Jiru was always self-conscious about the way her body looked, thinking no man would think that she was beautiful or sexy. Denki cups her chin and kisses her. Joru-chan, I know so. Any man would be lucky to have you. I'll be with you forever and I'll never betray you. End flashback. Jiru-chan is my best friend and the girl who I chose to spend the rest of my life with. I will not betray her. Cues Dragon Ball Kami to Kami Hero Kibu no Yuta Song of Hope by Flow. Suddenly, his body is covered in lightning, making Dumos recoil and look in shock. What the hell? Denki glares at Dumos as he charges forward at supersonic speeds, dashing around the place. The demon looks around in amazement until Denki punches her in the gut with a super fast punch. She spits up blood. Deku looks in shock. Kaminari? Your body, he says in shock. Stay back, Deku. I'm about to wreck this girl, he says as he dashes forward again and unleashes a barrage of lightning-based attacks, overwhelming Dumos. She tried to contort her body out of the way, only to get countered and outsmarted. Denki's attacks start to make her body become almost like stone. What? My body, she says in shock. No way. This power. It couldn't be. Denki punches her in the face, sending her through some pillars. Now, I'm putting you out of commission, he says as he charges up a giant lightning blast. In his head, he sees Jiru's smiling face with a thumbs up. Dumos looks in despair. This can't be happening. I am Dumos, one of the 4 demon kings. I can't be beaten, she yells in outrage. Take this, Denki yells as he thrusts his hands forward, launching the attack and bathing Dumos in lightning. Her body begins to become stone. No, Lord Alosier, she calls out as her body is completely rendered inert. Todoroki and Deku stand in shock as Denki's lightning cloak dissipates. Holy crap, man, says Todoroki. You wrecked her. Hee. Well, I have gotten stronger, he says, blowing his finger. But how in the heck did you turn her into stone? Asks Deku. The #4 hero shrugs. Your guess is as good as mine, he says as they call the cops to rendezvous with them. Villains HQ, cues Dragon Ball Super Ost Zamasu theme. Alosir and Belil sit in their quarters as their comrade arrives. He bows before them. My lords, I bring terrible news, he says. What is it? Crosel, Alosir says. Lady Dumos has been defeated and captured. Apparently, there was someone who used Raijan's gift. The other 2 look in shock. So, he's a descendant of the ones we had destroyed 20 years ago, says Belil. Doesn't matter. We'll kill him just like we did the others, Alosir says. I'll warn Shigaraki about him. What's his name? They call him Denki Kaminari. Denki Kaminari, huh? That last name seems familiar. The police met with Deku and the others and brought Dumos' inert body to their research facility. The head researcher, Sadama Kaguro, steps up to inspect the villain. Interesting. So she's been turned into this rock-like mineral after a couple of jolts of lightning? Suddenly, the statue starts to crack away, Dumos' eyes moving. Oh no! She's gonna get free! One of the worried scientists steps back and stumbles into a desk. As he falls, his coat snags on the cord for the window and opens it, letting the sunlight pour in and shine on the female warrior. She hisses as her body converts back to stone. Kaguro looks in amazement. I see. That's why she's been converted into stone. He walks into the other room, where Denki, Deku, and Todoroki await to hear about Dumos. Mr. Kaguro, have you found out something? Asks Deku. The scientist smiles. We have found out their one true weakness. Mr. Kaminari, I need to run some tests on you. What? What for? He asks in wonder. Don't worry, I just need to see how your quirk works. Denki nods as he walks with Sadama. Suddenly their friends arrive. Midoriya, we heard what happened, says Ida. Is it true you fought a heinous villain? Ida, you're being too loud, says Tsu. Ida bows his head and apologizes. We did, Ida. Actually, we would have been dead had Kaminari not saved us. Everyone looks in shock. Q's Murray Nikki Ost Yukukadasu Yak in English, the feeling of beginning to move. Haha, Deku, that's rich, says Bakugo. Ain't no way Charged Dolt could do that without turning into an idiot. Jiru glares at the Explosion King before plugging her ear jacks into him. He screams as the sound waves resonate through his body. What the hell? Shut up, Bakugo. You're just jealous cause Denki is stronger than you, says Jiru, scolding him. Everyone looked in shock as they hardly saw anyone stand up to Bakugo, except for Deku and Todoroki. Bakugo sees. What was that? He growls, mini explosions coming out of his hand. Ida stands in between them. Enough, Bakugo. You shouldn't insult your fellow hero, and you definitely shouldn't threaten a girl, he says with exaggerated movements. Shut your face, Four Eyes, Bakugo yells as Denki and Kaguro return. Dr. Kaguro, says Deku. What have you found out? Sadama smiles. You guys might want to have a seat, he says. Villain Hideout, Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ost un Ultra Persona English, another person. Shigaraki sits at the bar with Dabai, compressed, and twice. The decay villain continues to scratch his neck in irritation. Damn those heroes, they're going to ruin everything, he says. Dabai looks to his boss. What do you want us to do, boss? He asks. Shigaraki sighs. I guess I have no choice. I have to ask those two for help, he says. The others look in shock. You can't be serious, says Twice. Those monsters? We can't trust them, says Compress. Oh, trust me, I hate this idea as much as you guys do. But I have to do this to get us more muscle. I'm bringing Amai and Kawakasu into the fray. Personally, I hate having to ask for help from filth like them, but I can't afford the heroes getting a heads up on our plan. Shigaraki walks out of the room with Dabai. So, are we sure we can trust the other Demon Kings, says Dabai. After all, they already lost one of their members. Trust me, the others are way stronger than All Might could ever be. They'll do their job. Police Research Facility, Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Ost Overdrive. The others look with wide eyes at what they just heard. Jiru looks to Denki in shock as the stun gun hero smiles sheepishly. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard hearing this. You mean to tell me that Denki's body has traces of UV radiation inside of his cells, says the earphone jack user. That is correct. His cells are charged with UV radiation, and with it, his quirk is enhanced. It's also the main reason he was able to defeat the villain, says Kaguro. How so? Asks Ida, deeply intrigued. Kaguro chuckles. You see, a couple minutes ago, that villain awoke, scaring one of the scientists. They stumbled back and fell, pulling on the cord and opening the blinds. The sun poured in and rendered her inert again. The Class 1 group looks in amazement. I see, says Momo. It seems like Denki's quirk might be the only way to defeat these villains. Denki looks in shock. I'm sorry, what? He says, surprised. He still couldn't get his head around his body's unique feature. You see, Mr. Kaminari, says Kaguro before pointing to him. Your quirk is the ripple of the sun, and it is the only way to save the world. Everyone looks to the electricity user. You can do it, Denki, says Jiru with a smile. We all believe in you. Joru. Guys, he says before giving off a determined smile. I'll do it. I'll defeat the villains. Denki, Deku, and Todoroki follow Kaguro to the engineering department. They look in awe at all the new creations and gear. Kaguro smiles. Now to defeat those villains, you'll need some new gadgets. These come to us courtesy of our new recruit, he says as Mei Hatsum appears. Hey you guys, glad to see you here, she says. I made you guys some new babies to help in your quest to defeat the villains. She guides them to her tables. Now for Todoroki, I got you these gauntlets that'll amplify your fire with solar energy. It'll also work for your ice abilities. Shoto checks out his new gear and tests them out on a target, scorching it to almost nothing. Nice, he says in awe. Hastume smiles as she looks to Deku. For you, Mr. #1 Hero, we increase the damage your gauntlets and leg armor can do without hurting your body. They can hit with a force of 1000 psi, even at 5%. Deku walks up to the target and punches it. The target shatters from the sheer force. Holy crap, dude, says Denki. Nice punch. Those villains won't even know what happened. Mei looks to the electricity user. Now for Denki. You'll love this one. She takes out a metal hilt. Now, imbue it with your electricity. Denki does as he's told, and the hilt grows a blade of lightning. Whoa, a lightning sword. He swings it at the target, charging it with electricity and making it explode. Badass, no one will be able to best me. The group heads out. Thanks for the gear, Hatsum, says Deku, waving goodbye. Go and kick some butt, says Mei. Also tell Ida I said hi. Will do. Streets of Musutafu, cues bad company by bad company. Two villains walked down the streets in their disguises. One was a girl with green hair and green eyes. She wore a long green coat with blue highlights. She was Amai, a former surgeon who was fired for letting her patients die. Although it was revealed that she did so out of sadistic tendency. The other was a girl in a tight bodysuit that covered her body except her blue eyes. She was Kawakasu, a former patient of Amai's and her pet. Among the entire league of villains, these two stand out as a group of monsters. That is who Amai and Kawakasu are. The surgeon looks around with a smile. Heh, these people will make great test subjects. Kawakasu, you have the camera. Kawakasu grunts and nods as she shows her the camera. Amai pets and strokes her head. Oh, good, she says ecstatic. That's a good girl. You want a treat? Kawakasu perks up and nods as her master brings out some sugar cubes. You want two? The human pet grunts 3 times. Oh, 3. Okay. She takes 3 and tosses them into the air. Kawakasu catches them all skillfully. Amai pets her again. Oh, good. That's a good girl. Now, let's go deal with some heroes, and I know how to bring them. Her body covers itself in mold. With my quirk, Green Day and yours, Oasis. Wah, eh? NN, says Kawakasu in her usual grunting noises as she sinks into the ground. Amai touches the ground as the mold starts to cover it. Now, let's enjoy the screams of pain, she says with a sick smile. Deku, Ochako, in Eri's apartment, cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable Ost Morio in the early afternoon. Ochako starts working on dinner. She starts by turning on the stove and brings out her ingredients. This'll be good. For my favorite Deku and Eri, she says with a smile. The other two were in the other room, watching TV. Ochako smiles at the sight. He's such a good father figure for her. She resumes her cooking, throwing together some katsudon and rice. She then works on the sauce for it. Deku smells the food and smiles. Smell good, Ochako-chan, he says. It does, mommy, says Eri with a smile. Anything for my favorite people, Ochako says as she puts the finishing touches on the food. Dinner's ready. Deku and Eri rush to the table as the food is placed before them. This looks great, Ochako, says the #1 hero as he takes a bite of his food. And delicious. It really is, mommy, says Eri with a smile. Ochako smiles back. Thanks, you too, she says as she digs into her own food. After dinner, they sit and watch some of All Might's old battles. Suddenly, they get a news report. Breaking news. Musutafu is under siege by a deadly mold epidemic, says the reporter. The video shows a bunch of people covered in green mold and weak. We ask that civilians stay inside. Any heroes out there, please come help us. Deku looks to Ochako, who nods. He rushes and puts his costume on. Go kick some butt, Deku, she says, extending her fist. The #1 hero smiles before touching his fist with hers. Be safe, Papa, says Eri. Deku hugs her. I'll be back, Eri, he says before heading out. Streets of Musutafu, cues Sause no Onmyajet Windstar Exorcist Ost War Sudden Decree. Deku arrives at the place to see the turmoil. He looks to one man who had some mold on his chest and rushes to help him. Don't worry. I'm here to help, he says before helping him up and guiding him to the shelter. He sees Ida rushing by and dropping off more victims. Ida. Midoriya, nice of you to come, he says. This mold is growing out of control. It must be a villain's quirk, says Deku. Such heinous villainy, Ida says, growling. How dare they involve innocents? Suddenly, Kaminari and Todoroki arrive to help. Guys, what's going on? Asks Denki. This mold is growing out of control, says Deku. We can see that, but do you know who's behind it? Says Todoroki. We know it's a villain, but we don't know where they are, says the Ingenium heir. Let's go and see if we can find them, says the #1 hero. They start to rush out before being stopped by Tsuragami Kenji, the chief of police. Heroes, I have come with news from the police force. Woof. They have allowed you to use deadly force. The heroes look in shock. They hardly are granted to seriously injure a villain, let alone kill them. Chief Kenji, says Deku. Are you sure? These villains have crossed the line. Woof. They would have been executed anyway. Understood, says Deku as the others nod before heading out. They look around to try and find the villains. Look everywhere, says Ida. They must answer for their crimes. Suddenly, the ground begins to get soft as Kawakasu comes up from the ground. She grunts. I think we found one, says Denki. It's likely that she's not the one manipulating the mold. I'll go find them, says Deku. I'll come with you, says Todoroki as they rush off. Kawakasu looks at Denki and Ida with evil eyes. Kaya, ya, Insuke, she grunts, expressing her desire to kill them before sinking back into the ground. Here we go, says Denki as he grabs his sword. Denki and Ida prepare for Kawakasu's attack. They look around, trying to figure out where she is. Suddenly, she jumps out and kicks Ida in the chest before sinking back into the ground. Oof, he says before holding his chest. Ida, are you okay? Says Denki. He notices part of his chest piece starts to melt. What the heck? It must be her quirk, says Ida as he discards the piece of armor. I can just imagine what that can do if it touches one's skin. Kawakasu pokes her head out of the ground, like a crocodile seeking its prey, and dashes towards them. Crap, she's coming, Ida tries to run away, only to have the villain kick him in the legs, making the armor melt just like the chest piece. Ida, calls out Denki. Kaminari, get in one of the buildings, save yourself. It's gonna come for me, since I'm already injured, he says as Kawakasu comes back for another round. Suddenly, Denki smirks. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ost Buchairadi's theme. Ida, I have a plan. He then starts dashing away from the location, much to Ida's shock. What the hell are you doing, Kaminari? He says in bewilderment. Suddenly, Denki reaches a drop-off and jumps off. What? So this villain can track us underground, no matter where we are, huh? It's a terrifying ability. However, do you know where I am? Suddenly, Kawakasu pokes her head out of the ledge and sees the electricity user in front of her. Ha! So you didn't know where we are, as I suspected. He covers his hands in electricity before punching her repeatedly. Eri, Kawakasu screams in pain. Arrive at her side, Denki gives her one last punch to the face, making her retreat underground. He then holds on to the ledge and pulls himself up. Kaminari. What happened to the villain? Asks Ida. I just gave her a little shock, says Denki with a confident smile. He starts to help him up. Let's get you back to the base. Underground. Kawakasu starts hyperventilating as she looks at her face to see blood. My Kaya, my face. She uses the camera to check it out before grabbing her phone. Nay, am I? Picks up from a rooftop where she was standing. Kawakasu, is that you? I'm scared. My face, she says in broken up speech. Kawakasu, calm down. Just explain what happened. The blonde boy, he hit my face. I'm bleeding. I see. So they're proving stronger than I thought, she says to herself. Listen, Kawakasu, don't be afraid. Your quirk will get the job done. And afterwards, I'll give you a good treat. She hangs up before an ice ridge appears next to her. Cues Bleach O's pleasure of combat. We found you, villain, says Todoroki as he and Deku hop off the ridge and onto the building. You're going to pay for your crimes. The half-cold, half-hot user freezes the lower half of her body. So, you think you can take me down, huh? Says Ami with a sick smile before mold form around her waist. That's when they saw the most shocking thing ever. The villainess ripped her upper half free from her frozen part. The two heroes look in shock. "What are you doing? You'd kill yourself rather than be captured," says Deku. "I'm not dead. My quirk allows me to manipulate mold, but I can also form it around my body to stop my blood vessels, which allows me to move around, even if I've been hacked to pieces." She slices her arm off and does the same thing, making it move on its own and punch at the two heroes. They dodge and attack. Delaware smash. Deku flicks a shock wave at Amai, who slithers out of the way. "Burn away," says Todoroki as he launches a fireball at her. Amai duck behind cover, vanishing from their sight. Deku looks around to see she has vanished. Damn it! She got away. Suddenly, the arm that Amai severed before grabs Todoroki by the neck. Ack! Gah! Todoroki tries to pry it off, only to see mold form around his neck. Amai chuckles as she appears from behind a smokestack. "Your friend is going to die now, and you'll be joining him," she says with her sick smile. "I've won." "Let him go and I'll let you go free," says Deku. "Never! Don't get so cocky, brat." "Fine. Then I'll just end you here," he says before pressing a button. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ostgiorno's theme in the words of my college roommate. "This guy's about to get screwed." Suddenly, a needle pops out of Amai's head. She screams in agony. Todoroki told us that Momo made us a special object that can make anything we wish through thinking. I shot an invisible disc at you with my Delaware smash, and it stuck to your head. He starts walking towards Amai, who gets scared. "Wait, I thought you said you'd let me go." "Oh please. Did you really think someone like you deserves mercy? A rotting piece of crap like you." "Wah! You sick bastard," she yells as she lunges for Deku. That's when it happened. The #1 hero unleashed a lengthy barrage of punches, powered with one for all, breaking all the bones in her body. Muta 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 muta. Muta 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 muta. Muta 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 muta. Muta 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 muta. WRRIE. Muta 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 muta. Muta 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 muta. Muta. He delivers a final punch that launches her into a garbage truck, which had the kanji for burnable trash pickup mon, wed, fry. He looks to see Todoroki mold free and all well. "Nice one, Deku," says the #2 hero. "You went plus ultra on her ass." "Hee hee." "Oh yeah," says Deku. Kawakasu lurks around, wondering about Amai. Suddenly, she notices the mold has dissipated. "What? The mold's gone," she says with shock. "Does that mean?" Ida and Denki look in amazement. "They did it," says Denki. Deku and Todoroki were able to defeat the mold quirk. Kawakasu starts to rise behind them, earning their attention. "Looks like the other villain has returned," says Ida, getting ready. The villainess starts to shake furiously. "TCH, Amai, you rotting scum," she says. "I only followed you because you seemed smart." Guess I was wrong." She spits on the ground. "Now, I'll defeat these two all by myself." She dashes at the two and launches a punch. The heroes dodge, making her hit the ground, liquefying it. Suddenly, her punches start to become faster with each second. "How is she able to move so fast?" says Ida before looking at her style. He notices her elbows. She's hitting her elbows against the ground, giving it elasticity and adding recoil to her punches. "It's like a boxer using the ropes for the same reason," Kawakasu growls loud. "Ooh, Iasius," she cries out as she punches Ida and Denki all around. "Take this," she goes for one final punch, only to have Ida counter with a kick to the gut. "Oof," she glares at the two. "You two are tough, but it won't help you any bit." She goes back underground, making Denki go for his sword. "She's going to try and surprise us. However, she doesn't know I have a plan," says Denki with a smirk. "Ida, just tell me where she's coming and I'll take care of then rest." League of Villains hideout, cues Inuyasha os the soul power. Crocel of the Demon King stands in a big empty room. He then stretches his arms out in front of him. Kamizuna Arashi, Divine Sandstorm, he yells as his arms are covered in wind that spins violently and shreds the area around him. The attack begins to die down as Crocel looks at his handiwork. Now, I'll be able to defeat those heroes. Belil then proceeds to walk into the room. Ah, Master Belil, he says before bowing. To what do I owe the pleasure of seeing you here? Shigaraki and Lord Alosar wanted me to tell you that we'll be keeping you on standby. You're our strongest warrior after our lord after all. I see. Thank you, Master Belil. He bows before returning to his training. Belil leaves the room. Meanwhile, the other villains are looking at the handiwork of Amai and Kawakasu. Huh. So they killed Amai, says Shigaraki. I'm shocked they were allowed to use deadly force, but meh. I was going to kill them anyways. So, what shall we do if they are defeated? Asks Dabai. Simple. Go after Midoriya's loved ones, he says as he shows a pic of Ochako and Irai. I'm up for the challenge, says Compress. The job's yours, Compress. Don't disappoint me. As you wish, Shigaraki, he says as he goes to get ready. Streets of Musatafu, cues Juni Taisen os pressure. Kawakasu continues to circle them, trying to find where they are. Suddenly, Denki runs around, averting her attention. There you are, she says as she swims after him. In the process, she begins to drag everything down with her. Lamp posts, street signs, and even parked cars. The stun gun hero continues to run until the ground below him softens and becomes as water. What the? He falls underground, but not before he slices a lamp post with his sword, making it fall into the ground as well. Kawakasu stops before smiling. Did you really think I didn't plan for you to try and divert my attention? She says, smiling. I already know your location. Denki notices parts of his skin starting to melt like mud. What the heck? You see, when I get closer to my prey, their skin will turn to mud just like the pavement. She gets closer to him and smirks. Now you're within my range. Time for you to die. She winds her fist back until Denki smiles and slices the tires of a car near him. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle Ost Elephant Green /theme of Noriaki Kakyoin. You know, you really messed up when you started dragging other stuff underground. Especially when you dragged the cars down. He quickly covers his ears as the tires explode with a deafened sound, blowing out Kawakasu's eardrums. Gah! Kawakasu yells in pain. I was waiting for you to try this idea. You really messed up. Oh wait, you probably can't hear me now. Denki starts heading up to the surface. Damn you! I still know where you are. Kawakasu lunges up with her leg, only to get it run over by an ambulance. Ah, my leg! She quickly rolls to the sidewalk as other emergency vehicles arrive. She pants in fear. What's happening? Where'd he go? Denki walks up and stands a couple feet in front of her. Now to finish you off. The villain snarls as she sees a young boy near the hospital and grabs him. The boy gasps in fear. Stay back! I'll kill him! Denki stays back. Good! Hey brat! You're coming with me. Suddenly, she sees Denki walking closer to her. What are you doing, dumbass? I told you to stay back. You think I won't kill the kid? Try me. Suddenly, the kids disappeared from her grip and a small lightning bolt pinned her hand to her neck. What? But how? Lighting moves at 1/1000th of a second. It's way faster than you. Seko tries to desperately get free as her neck starts to liquefy. This can't happen, she says, her speech starting to get garbled. She then stumbles and falls into a conveniently placed garbage truck that then begins to drive away and it just works. Don't question it. Denki takes a deep breath as his skin turns back to normal. Deku, Todoroki, and Ida manage to meet up with him. Kaminari, you defeated her, asks Todoroki. Yep. Took the trash out, he says with a smile as they start to head back. Another win for the heroes. Although, I think it's far from over, says Ida. Deku calls the others to meet him at his apartment. They all arrive at noon as the #1 hero begins to tell them their plan. Thanks for coming over, guys. I need to tell you guys something, he says. What seems to be the problem, Midoriya? Asks Ida. When we were dealing with those two villains, I picked this up on one of them, he says as he shows a sheet of paper. It's got the mark of the League of Villains. What? But why would they keep it on themselves? That's just lazy, says Jiro. I was thinking the same until I saw the same sheet of paper on that other girl. The others look in shock. You think the two are related? Asks Todoroki. It's a huge possibility, which is why we need to be on guard. They nod as they head out. Ochako and Deku hug. I'll make sure you're safe. No one will hurt you. Thanks Deku-kun, but I can look after myself too. Eri joins in. Yeah, Papa. We can look after ourselves, she says with a smile. Deku returns the smile. Thanks guys. League of Villains HQ. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ost Assassination La Squadra theme. Shigaraki sits in his room, scratching his neck in irritation and annoyance. He had just heard about Amai and Kawakasu. So even the two pieces of trash couldn't complete a simple task. Pathetic low-level thugs, he punches a wall in rage, making a hole in it. After he cools down, he then walks out of the room to the main room. He notices Mr. Compress has left. So Compress left to go after the two? Yes, says Dabai. I'm confident he can capture them and break Midoriya. Tamura chuckles. Haha. And that's when we'll have the high score this time, he says with his sick smile. Alloser walks into the room with Belil. Shigaraki, if I might make a suggestion, I can send Belil out to help with the capture of the two women. The number one villain ponders the idea and smiles. Very well. If Compress fails on the slightest chance, you may intervene. Thank you, says Belil as he heads out. Outside of a restaurant, Bakugo has lunch with Kirishima, Deku, and Kaminari. They just talk and chat about their days. Bakugo notices Deku looking around. Hey Deku, why are you so on edge? I just feel a bit worried with all villain attacks as of late, he says. Come on man, it seems a bit much. We know the League of Villains are still out there, but you need to chill, says Kirishima. I understand, but it's my duty as the number one hero. Suddenly some guy bumps into Bakugo's chair, making him spill a drop of soda on the man's white. The man looks in shock before glaring at Bakugo. You bastard! What do you think you're doing? Huh, says Bakugo looking in irritation. The man grabs his collar. This suit cost 4 million yen. You think you can just pay for it? Huh? Bakugo snaps, launching an explosive uppercut to his jaw. The man falls on the ground twitching. You must be an enemy, says Bakugo, perking Kirishima. The two start kicking the man on the ground. You an enemy? Huh. Well, are you? Kaminari takes a sip before joining the fun. After a couple seconds, he stops and realizes. Hey wait, says the electricity user. I don't think this guy's an enemy. He's out. He's just a normal person. Oops, says Kirishima sheepishly. My bad. TCH. Well, he started it, says Bakugo in his normal tone. The group laughs as they walk away and head on back. At Deku's apartment, same time. Ochako rests in her room, watching TV, when she hears a rattling. She gets up and walks into the room, seeing the refrigerator open. Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is unbreakable Ost's sign of fear. Ira, did you leave the fridge open? She doesn't hear her voice. Weird. She goes to close it and notices a cup of coffee on the counter. Where'd that come from? Suddenly, she hears a voice. Ochako Uraraka, hero name, Uravity. The fiancé to the number one hero, Izuku Midoriya Deku. She looks behind to see Mr. Compress, reclining on a chair. Uraraka looks with fear and grabs a knife. What are you doing in my house? Compress smiles as he pulls out a small marble. That little girl is inside this small marble, and you'll be coming with me. And if I refuse, Uraraka says with slight confidence. Compress throws a marble at her and snaps his fingers, sucking her into the marble. Ha ha ha. Too easy, he says with a smile as he sips the coffee. Now, to see how Midoriya will act. Deku and his friends start heading back from lunch, laughing and sharing their funny moments. Bakugo just walked stoically, acting all tsundere-ish. So Deku, asks Kirishima. What do you think Eri and Ochako are doing? The one for all user chuckles. Probably waiting for me to get home, he says. They start to near the apartment. only to notice the door was open. Ah, is that supposed to be open? Says Kaminari in shock. Deku rushes and worried to see Eri and Ochako gone. No, 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 no. This can't be happening, he says before looking at a note. He picks it up and reads it. Dear Izuku Midoriya, I have your girlfriend and your child. If you want them back, meet me at Tatooine Station. If you don't show up in 30 minutes, I'll kill them both. Signed, Mr. Compress. Deku looks with fear and rage. His hands tremble as his friends look. How dare they? They went after the two most important people in my life. They'll pay. Kirishima puts a hand on his friend's shoulder. It's okay, Midoriya. We'll help you, says the hardening hero. Yeah, we'll stop those villains, says Kaminari. Those bastards will definitely pay when I get my hands on them, says Bakugo, pounding his fists with mini explosions. Thanks, guys, he says as he touches his wristwatch, making his costume come out and cover his body. Let's go. Tatooine Station cues Guardians of the Galaxy Ost Ronin the Accuser theme. Dr. Compress stands at the station, holding the two small glass marbles. He chuckles to himself. When he arrives, I'll capture him with my quirk, just like I did these two, he says as he tosses the two into the air and catches them. Suddenly, he sees the group nearing his location. Time to spring the trap. He walks away as he tosses one of the orbs, making it release its contents. The others head up to the platform and see a shadowy figure starting to stumble away. You, stop, says Deku as he rushes forward and grabs the figure by the shoulder, only to look in shock as he had just grabbed Eri. The young girl was completely out of it, her eyes closed. What? But how? Says Kirishima in shock. Damn it! Where are you? Yells Bakugo. Get out here! Don't mess with us, says Kaminari, his hands sparking with electricity. They hear chuckling as Mr. Compress walks out. It's been a while, wouldn't you say? He says, smiling behind his mask. Deku glares at him. You hurt Eri, you sick bastard! His body starts to glow from One for All. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle Ost Heritage to the future theme of Jotaro Kujo. One for All, 20% shoot style. He dashes at the villain, enraged, and launches a kick at his head. Compress dodges nonchalantly as Bakugo charges from behind. Die, you bastard, yells the hot-headed hero as he launches an explosion-powered punch in his direction. Compress takes the blast to the face, making his reel back. Damn it, I can't see! He stumbles back as Kirishima rushes forward, his arms hardened. Take this, he yells as he punches him repeatedly. Aura, 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 aura. He finishes with a hard punch to the gut, sending him into the air. Denki sees the airborne villain and prepares his quirk. Now you're mine, he says as he charges his fist with electricity. Overdrive, he punches him in the gut again, making the volts course through his body and send him flying into a sign, knocking him out. Suddenly, the orb holding Ochako breaks, releasing her from her prison. Ochako, yells Deku as he hugs her. The zero-gravity user smiles as she returns the hug. You saved me, Deku, she says. What about Eri? She's okay. She's on the bench resting. Kirishima and Denki tie up Compress as Bakugo checks on Eri, who starts to wake up. Feeling better, kid? She smiles. Yep. Thanks, Kachon, she says. Bakugo blushes before turning away. There were only 3 people who he let call him that name, Deku, Denki, and Eri. The group is about to head back until they hear an evil chuckling. Q's Dragon Ball fighters Ost planet Nank destroyed. They look around to see Belil walk out. They get into a fighting stance as Ochako and Eri take cover. So, you are the new number 1. Izuku Midoriya Akadeku, he says as he observes his opponents. You all seem powerful, but you won't be able to beat me. He gets into a stance. You're one cocky bastard, say Bakugo, his hands crackling with mini explosions. I'll wipe that smirk off your face. You really think you can beat Belil of the 4 Demon Kings, says the villain. The 4 demons, says Denki with a smile. So I get to kick the ass of another one of you guys. So, you're Kaminari, the owner of Rajan's gift. Prepare to join your ancestors, he says as he lunges towards the group. Belil charges at the heroes who get ready. Denki aims his finger and launches a small lightning blast at him. The villain jumps over the attack and kicks at Denki. Detroit smash, yells Deku as he punches Belil in the face, sending him back. Belil smirks as he wipes the blood from his cheek. Not bad. Just like All Might. But it will do you no good, he sees Bakugo, using his explosions to launch him towards him. The explosion maniac yells as he lunges at him, only to get kicked hard in the gut. Oof. Bakugo calls out Kirishima as he hardens his skin and repeatedly punches at Belil's chest. The villain doesn't even wince before backhanding him. All of you are pathetic, he says. The world has really gone down if you are heroes. Now to use my greatest technique. Suddenly, a series of long tendrils come out of his back. Heat control mode! The tendrils lunge at Kirishima, oozing some mysterious liquid on him. The liquid burns his hardened skin. Oh, that's hot! Kirishima jumps back, shaking his arms. Geez, what was that? I can heat my body temperature to 500 degrees Celsius. As a result, my blood is as hot as lava. He looks to Kaminari. You'd be a disappointment to your ancestors. You keep saying that. What are you talking about? He says, bewildered. Belil smiles as he proceeds to tell him. Flashback, Musutafu, Japan, 25 years ago. A group of heroes try to fight off the 4 demons, only to be overwhelmed. One of the heroes looks to their leader, a man in his 50s with blonde hair and blue eyes. Mr. Kaminari, what's the plan? The leader looks to the civilians trying to get away. He looks at a blonde girl among them before turning to the villains, his body coursing with lightning. Hold your ground. We must buy time for the civilians to escape. He unleashes the lightning through the ground and shocks the 4 villains. Alloser notices his feet starting harden and become as stone before scoffing. This will not hold me, he says before breaking free, losing some of the skin around his legs. He continues to march forward. Hugh's bleach os torn apart. Kaminari looks to his group, lightning coursing through his body. Everyone, fall back. I'll buy you time, he says as he walks forward. No, Mr. Kaminari, calls out another of the heroes before his friends grab him. We gotta go, man. They run away as Kaminari's lightning starts to increase and cover his entire body. He sees the image of the blonde girl smiling. Sorry, baby girl. Daddy's gotta go now. Give my new grandson my regards. Suddenly, the 4 demons lunge at him, only to have the lightning explode in a 5-yard radius. The villains become full stone as Kaminari falls to the ground. A hulking figure rushes over, Toshinori Yagi Ake All Might. Mr. Kaminari, are you okay? He calls out. He then sees the lightning user's condition. His body was burned badly, his chest a dark color. The man looks to the young #1 hero with hope. All Might, become the greatest hero the world has ever known. There will be great challenges for you, but I trust you'll be able to defeat them. Kaminari smiles before his eyes shutter closed. All Might bows in reverence for the fallen hero. I will. For you and my master, he says as he carries his body to be buried. End flashback. Belil chuckles as the other look in shock. Denki feels increased hatred for the villain. You killed my grandfather, he says enraged. You'll pay for hurting my family. Q's overlord Op 1 Cladanoia by Oxt. Suddenly, Denki's body is covered in lightning as he dashes forward. Belil is shocked by the lightning user's sudden increase in power. Denki responds with a punch to the gut, sending the villain back. Damn you, he says as he fires his veins at Denki. The number 5 hero covers his hands in lightning, forming blades, and he slashes through them with very little effort. The 500-degree blood evaporates as it touches the lightning. Denki then aims his finger and fires some small lightning blast toward Belil, who jumps away and tries to escape. Oh no you don't, yells Bakugo as he jumps in front of him and punches the villain in the gut using his quirk, sending him flying toward Kirishima. Take this! The Red Riot unleashes some hardened punches, making him double over in pain. Deku jumps into the air, supported by Ochako's quirk, his body glowing from One for All and his legs stretched up into the air. Now Ochako, he calls to his fiancée, who touches her fingers together. Release, Deku falls towards the ground, launching a huge axe kick to the guy on the ground, knocking the villain off his feet. Manchester smash, Belil is dazed a bit before looking up to see Denki, preparing a final attack. He claps his hands before pulling them away, creating a stream of lightning. Time to end this. For my grandfather and my mother, twin maximized technique, chain dragon lightning. He fires the attack towards Belil, bathing him in electricity. Nuo, this can't happen, he yells as his body becomes rock and crumbles away. Denki smirks. Guess I got a little carried away, he says as he and his friends call the police. Hello, yes, police, says Deku. This is Izuku Midoriya, hero named Deku. I'd like to report that Belil of the 4 Demon Kings has been defeated. The police department arrive at the train station, along with their scientific division. Mei and Kaguro supervise the loading of Belil's fragments into the vans. The police arrest Mr. Compress and take him away. So, the League of Villains are at it again, and the 4 Demon Kings show up too, says Naomasa. Seems a bit too convenient, wouldn't you say? You think they're working together, woof, says Kenji. It's a huge possibility, says Naomasa writing up observations. Deku and Ochako talk as Eri starts to wake up. Papa Mama, she says in a tired tone. The others look with happiness to see the young girl okay. Feeling better, Eri? Asks Deku. I'm hungry, she says with a small smile. Everyone chuckles. Why don't we head home and make something for you, says Ochako. Eri nods as they head home. League of Villains hideout, cues Naruto Os Predator. Shigaraki hear about the failure of both Mr. Compress and Belil. He then punches the wall in annoyance. Damn it, why are they all so weak? He starts to seethe in anger before looking at Deku's picture. I guess, if you want something done, he grabs the picture and makes it turn to dust. You gotta do it yourself. A Loser walks in. Forgive me, I didn't know that Belil would fail, he says bowing. It wasn't your fault, he says with an evil smile. It's all because of that little brat. I believe it's time we make our presence known. After 30 minutes, the remaining villains gather as Shigaraki announces their plan. So, this is it, asks Dabai. The final stage. Yes. The heroes will know true fear, and we will crush everyone's spirits and hope. The League of Villains will reign supreme. All the villains cheer as Shigaraki reveals a Deku dummy. And we will start by killing their favorite #1 hero. He motions to Dabai, who smiles evilly before firing a blast of blue flame, burning the dummy to nothing. Now let's go mess some stuff up. The villains cheer as they walk out of the base, disguised, and into the streets. Aloser smiles. Soon, the world will know the power of the great Aloser of the 4 Demon Kings, he says as he looks in his long coat to show a mask and red stone. Deku and Ochako's apartment cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Osdan. Deku and Ochako stand in the kitchen, getting the ingredients ready for Eri's dinner. They start by turning on the stove, a pot of water on the eye. Now let's begin, says Ochako as she puts some tomato sauce and sausage in a separate pot. She starts mixing them together as Deku starts cutting up some onions, garlic, and bell peppers to put into the sauce pot. Ochako sees the water pot boiling and puts some pasta in the pot. Eri watches from the kitchen in excitement and anticipation. I can't wait to taste this dish, she says with a bright smile. The 2 heroes look back to her and return her smile. We'll make it really delicious for you, she says as she finishes the sauce and merges it with the pasta, mixing them together. She then puts it on 3 plates. Bon appetite, says Deku with a smile as he and Ochako sit down and dig in. Eri takes some on her fork and eats it. It's delicious, she says as she continues to eat. We're glad you like it, says Ochako as she drinks some tea. I'm just glad you girls are all okay from the incident, says Deku. I don't know what I would have done if you 2 had gotten hurt. Awa Deku. That's so sweet of you, say the gravity user who then kisses his cheek, making her boyfriend turn a deep shade of pink. Streets of Kamino Ward, cues Enter Sandman by Metallica. Shigaraki and his crew of villains walk down the streets in their disguises. Alloser looks around at the civilians. Crocel, prepare to use all of your strength to defeat our enemies. As you wish, Lord Alloser, he says. Shigaraki looks to one of his subordinates, his face and body obscured by a hooded cloak. The heroes will be coming to stop us. Stat behind to intercept and destroy them with your quirk. I will make sure they die slowly and painfully, says the mystery villain before heading to the rooftops. Now, time to play the game, Shigaraki says with an evil smile. The two lovers cuddle on the sofa, enjoying each other's time and eating some pizza. Denki kisses Jiru's cheek, earning him a smile. So jamming way, ready for our wedding next week, she says, stroking his leg. You know it, he say with his trademark grin. It'll be a night to remember. They kiss as the news comes on. This is an urgent message. The League of Villains are attacking, yells a newswoman. TH2 looked to the TV to see the rampant destruction and civilians being attacked and threatened by the League. Those bastards, growls Denki. He stands up and goes to put on his hero uniform before seeing Jiru in hers. Wait, Jiru, are you sure you want to come? I'm a hero like you. My job is to help others who can't help themselves. The electricity user smiles. All right, let's head out, and we'll do so in style, he says with a smirk. Jiru smirks back. You mean we get to test out them? They walk to the garage and open the door. Cues Battle Without Honor or Humanity by Tomoyasu Hotai. The two walk in and see two covered objects. They remove the sheets to reveal two motorcycles in their trademark colors. Jiru's was a dark purple, had ear jack designs on both sides and under each. It said, Purple Haze. Denki's was a bright and vivid yellow with black lightning bolt-like streak on both sides and the words, the stake on the sides. Hatsum had made them as congratulations for engagement. She had equipped each bike with an arsenal that would amplify and aid their quirks. Denki looks at his yellow one. Hatsum did a great job with her early wedding gifts. Yep, says Jiru as she looks at the words on the side. She knows me so well. The two get on their respective rides. Now let's see how they purr. They rev them up, hearing a nice smooth mix of a whirring and standard motorcycle sounds. Denki's tires are covered with electricity and Jiru's bike has two speakers in the front. Now that's a nice sound, Jiru says with a smile. Oh yeah. Now let's ride, babe, Denki says with a smile. Jiru nods as they speed off to the battlefield. Streets. Some small-time heroes try aiding in the evacuation of civilians and fight off some of the villains. One of them, a burly guy with blonde hair, uses his ridiculous strength to knock out some of them villains. Ha, such small fry not even worth my time, he says. Don't get too cocky, says another hero who uses his quirk to make the villains sink into the ground. Oh come on, they can't even hurt me, he says, punching one to the ground. Suddenly they hear a voice. Wanna bet? Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Ost, Magnetica Risatonos theme. A guy wearing a black cloak and black mask walks before the group. The two heroes feels his dangerous presence and step back a bit. What happened to that confidence you had before? I guess you're all talk, he scoffs. The burly hero gets mad. Shut up. The one who should be shaking in their boots is you, scum, he yells as he rushes forward. No, don't. We don't know what his quirk does. Doesn't matter. I'll end him in a matter of seconds, the villain looks on stoically. I see. The way you're rushing towards me means you're a close-range fighter. His eyes glow red and suddenly the burly hero stops and grabs his throat, choking. Your range is possibly 2 to 3 meters, but as long as I know that, I can easily kill you. What? The hell? My throat. Suddenly, he throws up a torrent of blood and razor blades. Blee! What the? How'd they blurt get in my body? He kneels down, glaring at the villain. Damn you! Get over here, he yells as he runs at the guy again. This fight is over, the villain says as he clenches his fist, causing the hero's body to be brutally ripped apart by sewing needles out of every part of his body. The Earth hero looks on in disbelief. What was that? I didn't even see him do anything. The villain walks towards him. Now, it's your turn, he says as he swipes his in front of the hero's face. Die? Suddenly, a pair of scissors appear in the man's throat before opening, breaking through his skin and slicing his jugular vein. The hero chokes and gargles on his own blood before collapsing dead on the pavement. The villain continues to walk down the street. Now, who else wants to feel the power of my quirk Metallica? Classic present mic intro. Villain name, Jishaku Hagen. Quirk Metallica. He can manipulate the iron in a person's blood to craft sharp and dangerous object to attack his opponent. He can easily kill them in one attack, but sometimes he likes to whittle the opponent's health down. Prolonged exposure to his quirk can result in blood turning yellow and asphyxiation due to the loss of iron in the blood. Two villains start destroying buildings and batting heroes away. One of them with a red mohawk chuckles as he fires sharp barbs from his wrist at some heroes, severely wounding them. "Ha ha, this is awesome," he says. "With Shigaraki leading us, we can become the top dogs." "Damn right," says his friend who screeches loudly, weakening building and making them fall. Suddenly, he gets sent into a building by unseen force. Oof. "What the hell," says the barbed quirk user. Cues the Mandalorian theme. Suddenly, he sees a figure walking towards him from the dust. The figure is revealed to be Deku, holding a young child in his arms, their leg wounded. "No, not you. You filthy scumbags won't be getting away with this," says the #1 hero as he sets the child down and gets into a stance. The villain, in fear, starts firing his quirk wildly. "You won't defeat me," he says, only to have Deku dash around him using one for all on his feet. "Stop jumping around, son of a..." His insult is cut off as he is kicked into a building. "Now, where's Shigaraki?" demands Deku. The barbed villain grits his teeth before lunging at him with two barbed blades. "I'll cut you, bastard!" He unleashes a barrage of slashes at him, only to get them broke by a Delaware smash. His eyes go wide as Deku wins back for a punch. Detroit smash! He launches a hard punch to the gut, sending him into a light pole, knocking him out. "TCH, you waste your life following Shigaraki." Unaware to him, the Scream villain came to and prepared to unleash a loud screech until he hears a growing rumbling. He turns around and his eyes go wide. Cues FGO rider Sakata Kentoki NP theme. In the distance, Denki rides his motorcycle into the city with a trail of lightning. He sees the villain and smiles. "Let's hit the road," he says before pressing a button, making it go faster and the trail bigger. He does a wheelie as he near him. Golden drive, his front wheel hits the man in the face, making him dazed. Denki screeches to a halt and points his index at him in a finger gun. "Good night." Suddenly, a big lightning blast erupts from the ground under the Scream villain, making him fall to the ground unconscious. Deku smirks. "Nice ride, Kaminari," he says as one minor villain tries to snipe them from far away. He got him," he says with an evil smile, only to hear another rumbling. He turns around to see Jiru on her bike. "Nanurihai?" Jiru plugs her ear jacks into her bike, unleashing a precision blast at the villain, sending him backwards and knocking him out before he hit the ground. Jiru joins up with the other two as they tie up the villains. "Deku, have you seen any of our friends?" she says. "Nope, but I assume they're already here or on the way." The three advance to fight off more villains until a guy drops in front of them, Jishaku Hagen. Cues FGO Ost enemies. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. The #1 and #4 heroes come. "Just in time for me to slaughter them," he says as he licks his lips. The heroes stand guard. Jishaku Hagen. "Wanted for murder and larceny," says Deku. "So you're with these scumbags as well?" "All is for Lord Shigaraki's plans. He will never be stopped by you," he says as he walks closer. "Be careful, guys. His quirk is a deadly one, able to damage someone from the inside out," says the #1 hero, his body glowing green. "He's gonna be a tough guy to beat," says Denki as he starts to spark with electricity. "Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he's just another petty criminal," says Jiru, her ear jacks at the ready. Jishaku starts to glow blue. "Time to end you all." Building top. Alosar and Krosel stand looking over city in chaos. The leader smiles. "Soon, everything will be ours," he says as he looks to his underling. Crosel, deal with the one who holds Raijin's gift. As you wish, Lord Alosir, he bows before dashing on the rooftops. Even Shigaraki will bow to me, and then I'll kill him in front of everyone, says Alosir as he pulls out a stone mask and puts a red gem in the center. He puts it on his face, as spikes warp around and secure it to his face. Suddenly, light shines everywhere. Ooh ah ah da! The light slowly dims as Alosir's mask crumbles off. He smiles evilly. Now, I have become the ultimate being. Jiru put her ear jacks into the ground to send shock waves towards Jishaku, who dodges barely. Damn, you're a tough one, he says with a smirk until Deku jumps up and axe kicks downwards. Manchester smash! The villain dodges again as the #1 hero's leg hits the pavement, making a crater. He's so agile. Can't get a clean shot. Jishaku makes a waving motion with his hand, making metal spears fly towards the group. Look out! Yells Denki as he and his friends jump out of the way. So, he can use his quirk to fire projectiles, says Jiru. Quite the annoyance. Now, time for you to die, says the villain as he clutches his fist, making Jiru hunch over. Kyoryuka, are you okay? Yells Denki. Jiru ends up puking a hail of needles. Blee, she starts to gasp for air and hold her throat. Jishaku smiles. Hee hee. What's the matter? Feeling faint, he says much to Denki's rage. You bastard! He lunges at him only to have rebar puncturing his legs. Ah! Tusk tusk tusk. So brash. He looks to Deku, bloodlust in his eyes. Now time to kill the #1 hero. He clutches his fist and something unexpected happens. With Tamura and the other villains, Q's Fate 0 Ost Fate to 0. Tamura looks over the destruction of the city, laughing evilly. Ha 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 ha. Yes, everything is falling into place. All I just need is that little brat's head. He looks to 2 new villains. One was a hulking brute with a wolf head, blue skin, eagle talons, and a crocodile tail, wearing a trench coat. His name was Trujiro Kon Aka Chimera. The other was a girl with long red hair and blue eyes. She wore a purple blouse under a blue dress. Her name was Kruka Hasaki Aka Slice. That's where you two come in. Bring me the one they call Deku. If you fail, you'll end up like your 2 friends. The 2 glare at Shigaraki. He had already killed 2 of their comrades. Their leader 9 was killed as the other 3 were being arrested, and the other Hoyo Makihara, who attacked him when they were being broken out, and Tamura revealed their leader's death. Know this, Shigaraki. After this is over, you're a dead man, says Slice. You're the worst kind of evil, says Chimera as they leave. Dabai walks up. Yo boss, is it cool if I go kill some heroes? Oh please do. Kill any you like, he says with an evil smile. Alright, he says walking away. Time to deal with that pesky #2 hero. Streets. Jishaku looks in shock as his quirk fails to activate. Huh? But how? He notices a dart in his arm. What the hell is this? Suddenly a voice calls out. Your quirk's been cancelled, Jishaku. A figure drops down from above. Deku looks to see Himiko Toga standing in front of him. Toga? He noticed her change in costume. She wore a skin-tight red bodysuit and her mask with tubes. Jishaku smirks. So little Miss Blood Fetish comes crawling back. Thought you were dead along with the lizard. Toga glares at him as she wields a new knife. Its blade was red and was long than her other one. No one insults my friends and lives to tell about it. She looks to Deku. Do we need him alive? Deku shakes his head. He's a dangerous criminal. Way worse than Shigaraki. He'll be executed anyways. Toga smiles semi-crazily. Then that means I don't have to hold back. Cues Kara no Kayukai Ost Ryogi Shiki's theme. She kneels down on one knee before closing her eyes. Time to use my new ability, Death Perception. Her eyes glow blue as she sees the body of Jishaku covered in lines. She dashes forward as the evil villain waves his hands. Die! Sharp metal objects come flying towards her. Toga starts doing twirls and flips, avoiding them. Deku and his friends look in shock. She's moving faster and more agile, giving her the ability to dodge the projectiles, says Denki. Jishaku becomes more frantic and angry. Stop jumping and die already. He starts to throw bigger items her way, only to get them slashed in half by Toga's blade. Deku starts to cheer her on. Go Toga, you can do it! Toga smiles as she gets close to Jishaku, who grabs a knife and duels with Toga. You aren't going to kill me, he says with a hint of fear. He wildly slashes at Toga, who dodges without effort. Why won't you die? Because Deku believes in me. Spinner believes in me. I can defeat you because I have people who trust me. The villain stabs at her face. He smirks for a second until he sees Toga griping the blade in her jaw. She then knocks the blade out of Jishaku's hand. This is the end. Jishaku looks in fear as Toga gracefully slashes at him, cutting him in the throat and chest. No, this shouldn't have happened, he says as blood gushes from his wounds. This is my declaration. Villains must pay for their crimes, she says as she swings the blood off the blade and Jishaku's body falls to the ground. Somewhere else in the streets, Todoroki and Momo tie up some defeated villains. Let's move on, says the #2 hero. Got it, says his girlfriend as they start to move on. Suddenly, blue flames rain around them. What the hell, exclaims Todoroki. He hears a scream and looks to see Dabai kidnapping Momo. Let her go. You want her? Meet me up on the roof. Br other. The hero's eyes widen. Who are you? Dabai ignores him and dashes away, Todoroki in pursuit. He follows him to a rooftop to see Dabai tying up Momo over a fire. Let her go, damn you. Win and I'll let her go. Lose and she get roasted. Who the hell are you? Dabai shakes his head while smirking. I thought you'd recognize your own brother Shoto. Todoroki's eyes widen. No, Toya. Shoto and Dabai stare each other down. Their quirks start to activate. Toya, we don't have to do this. Come back to us, brother, says Shoto. Your brother is no more. I killed him, says Dabai. Now, enough talk. We fight. Dabai's flames start to coat him and form armor. He then creates a sword of pure blue flames. He charges at Shoto and slashes. The #2 hero blocks with his own flame sword. Momo looks on helpless. If I have to fight you, brother, says Shoto, then so be it. He kicked Dabai in the face before making a downward slash with his flame sword. Dabai dodges, only getting nicked in the arm by a spark. I see you're just as sharp as ever, the villain says with a smile. However, you'll still die like your precious Momo. Streets. Deku, Denki, and Jiru walk around searching for more villains. The villains haven't been showing up as often as they should be, says Denki. Feels like a trap, says Jiru. Suddenly, two familiar faces show, Slice and Chimera. Cues Let Me Hear You Scream by Ozzy Osbourne. Chimera chuckles as Slice's hair gets sharp. So the brats have come to stop us, says Chimera, getting into a stance. We'll make you pay for what you did to Nine and Mummy, says Slice as she launches her hair at them. The heroes dodge the attack as Deku flicks his fingers at them. Slice blocks the attack with her hair. You know, when you two escaped, the police put a dead or alive bounty on you, says Denki. The money would probably cover my wedding and then some. Jiru smirks. Okay, jamming way. Enough joking. Let's kick some ass. The two lovers charge at Slice as Deku fights Chimera. Detroit Smosh, Deku punches Chimera in the face, only to be countered by getting slammed to the ground. Gah! Nice try, brat, but I've gotten stronger since the last time we fought. Meanwhile, Denki tries firing some lightning blasts at Slice, who uses her hair to bat them away. Jiru jumps in and plugs her earphones into the ground, unleashing some massive earthquakes. The female villain is knocked off balance as Denki fires a blast and knocks her into a diner. Quick, before she escapes, says Jiru as they rush in, leaving Deku to deal with Chimera. Now, I'll crush you like a twig, says the monstrous villain. I will defeat you and Shigaraki, says Deku in a fight stance. Diner. The couple walks in and search for Slice. Suddenly, she comes out from hiding and launches her hair at them. They dodge the attack and the hairs hit a jukebox, cueing the song. Cues word up by the Boss Hoss and Kingsman like camera work. They engage in a full-out battle, Denki firing his lightning blast at her only to have them absorbed by her hair. Jiru get up close and personal with a variety of hand-to-hand techniques. Denki blasts Slice into behind the counter, as she grabs a pan and tosses at them. Heads up Denki, calls out Jiru. Denki looks too late to get hit in the face with the pan. Oof! Jiru jumps over the counter as Slice grabs a knife and slashes at her. The sound hero dodges the knife and grabs her arm before turning on the meat grinder next to them. She throws the knife in the grinder, which munches to nothing. Denki composes himself as Slice jumps back over the counter and grabs a hidden whip and launches it at him. Yeet! Denki dodges as Slice smirks. She used the whip to grab Jiru by the neck and tosses one end into the air, landing it into the grinder. Jiru tries to pull and tug it loose as it drags her towards the grinder. The electric hero tries to help her, but Slice blocks his way and pulls a gun on him, firing randomly. Denki dodges the bullets and grabs her arm. He then aims the gun and fires it at the whip before Jiru's head is over the grinder, getting her free. Denki knocks the gun out of her hand and punches her in the face, dazing her a bit. Jiru spins on the counter and kicks her in the face before Denki punches her one more time. Slice stands groggy and Denki charges and pushes her into the air as Jiru rushes by and pushes her down headfirst into the meat grinder, which makes a sickening grating noise as it spits out a mass of ground-up villain, hair, and fabric. Jiru brushes her shoulder. Cut that, bitch, she remarks as the couple walks out with a fist bump. Streets, cues adrenaline by Shinedown. Deku pants as Chimera continues his brutal assault. The villain punches Deku in the gut, making him reel a bit. Oh, come on. Is this all the #1 hero has to offer? Says Chimera, licking his chops. I'll enjoy dining on your bones. He goes for the finishing blow only to get blasted into a building. Geez, Deku, you really let this slag beat you, says a familiarly angry voice. Deku looks up to see Bakugo. Kachin, is that you? Keep it together, you damn nerd. Bakugo helps him up. Let's kick this guy's ass. They charge at Chimera and pull off their devastating combos. Deku flicks his fingers, sending Chimera back into an apt shot from Bakugo. Deku then jumps up and axe kicks the villain as Bakugo unleashes an explosive uppercut to the jaw. Deku finishes with roundhouse kick to the face, which sends him flying into a light post. How are you this strong? Says Chimera, getting tired and weak. That's called friendship, dummy, says Bakugo. Look it up. The explosive hero jumps up into the air and spins violently. Howitzer impact, he sends Chimera flying across the street, unconscious before he hit the ground. Heh! Bang! Deku and Bakugo pant heavily as they tie up Chimera and leave him for the police. Denki and Jiru walk out of the diner. Where's Slice? Asks Deku. Well, you see, says Denki, rubbing the back of his neck. She had an accident with a meat grinder. Bakugo smirks. Well, she was wanted dead or alive, so not much of a difference. He looks to Deku. So where's Icy Hot? Last I checked, him and Momo were rounding up villains. I just hope they're okay. Rooftops, cues Fate Zero, this battle is to the strong. Dabai continues to overwhelm Todoroki with his flames, the number 2 hero barely being able to keep up. Brother, it's not too late, says Shoto. We can still end this. Oh, it'll be over when the heroes are all dead, Dabai says with his trademark smile. So be it, says the #2 hero as he does a combo of ice and fire walls that surround Dabai. I'm sorry, brother. He clenches his fist, making them suddenly constrict. Dabai effortlessly swipes his hand, making them disappear. Shoto prepares for the next attack with his flame sword. Nice stuff. However, the villain smirks as he kicks him in the chest, making Shoto drop his flame sword, causing it to vanish. You're done! He launches a stream of blue flames, which surrounds Todoroki. This is the end, Shoto. The flames explode as Momo looks on in despair. Father chose wrong. He proceeds to walk towards Creati until he hears chanting. Q's Fat Extra Unlimited Blade works. I am the flame of my sword. Ice is my body and fires my blood. I have created over 1,000 forms. Shoto extends his hand upward as many icicles begin to fall and hit the ground around him, cracking the ground. Unknown to death, nor known to life. I have withstood pain to create many weapons. The cracks begin to grow as ice fills them. He closes his eyes and holds his hand over his chest. Yet those hands will never hold anything, so, as I pray. His eyes shoot open as his fist clenches. Unlimited flame works. Suddenly, a bare wasteland of ice surrounds them as Shoto raises his hand, summon a hail of fireballs suspended in the air. Dabai looks with wide eyes as the #2 hero motions his hand towards the villain. The fireballs rain down with high velocity and force, making Dabai unable to block or dodge as they explode around him. The area turns to normal as he sees his brother unconscious on the ground. You left me no choice, brother. Distant rooftop. Krosel watches from above as he sees Denki and the others. So this is the one who bested Belil and Dumos. He will be brought down. I will avenge my fallen comrades. He looks to the sky. It seems the wind is with me. All the more reason to strike first. Deku and the others walk down the streets to try and find Shoto and Momo. Suddenly, they hear chuckling as 4 figures walk out from an alley. The first was a man wearing attire similar to a matador, a sword in his hand. The second was a woman who wore a skin-tight bodysuit and wielded 2-bladed tonfa. The third was a man in full knight armor with a chain whip in his hand. The last one was a man who had a zombie-like face, his arms on fire. Well, 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 says the matador. Look who we found. The top heroes, Deku, Chargebolt, and Dynamite. The girl licks his lips at Denki. Aren't you delicious? I'm going to enjoy having my way with you. Jiru hisses. Drop dead, you skank. How dare you, the villainess yells. Now, let's keep a cool head, says the knight. They'll be finished in one swoop with us here. Where's Shigaraki? Demands Deku. He, like we would ever tell you, says the zombie. You know, face the 4 crime kings? Allow us to introduce ourselves, says the matador as he poses with his sword. Skilled swordsman Tajushi. The woman rubs her body and does a seductive pose. The seductive queen, Fushirana. The knight swings his chain whip as a show of power, slicing through a light post. Knight of Darkness, Enkoku. The zombie punches a trash can, making it explode. And I, Nameki, the Explosion Master, Bakugo smirks sinisterly. Explosion Master, huh? That title is not yours to take, he says as he punches him with his gauntlet, causing a big explosion to send him reeling back into a brick wall, knocking him out. Fushirana looks in shock before Jiru sticks her earbuds into her neck and unleashes a loud shockwave in her head, making her ears bleed heavily as she passes out. Nighty-night, ya floozy. Enkoku and Tajushi try to attack Denki, only to the latter get shocked by a concentrated bolt to the chest, making him launch back into a heap and causing his helmet shatter. Tajushi starts to panic until Deku punches him hard in the face with Ofa, sending him face first into a wall. All that flare, and that was all, says Denki as he and Jiru tie up the villains. PFFT, dipstick villains, says Bakugo. Suddenly, they hear a loud thud behind them. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Awaken Pillar Men theme. They turn around to see Krosel Slow standing up menacingly. He looks to the group of heroes, mainly Denki. So you are the one with the Radiant's gift. I will avenge the fall of my friends Dumos and Belil. Behold, I am Krosel of the Wind. I'll beat you like I beat the others, says Denki as he starts charging up his fists until Bakugo lunges forward. Wait, Bakugo. Sorry, Sparky. First come, first serve. He launches an exploding punch to the gut. The hulking demon looks as he is somewhat unfazed by the punch. Aw crap. Krosel picks him and punches him hard in the gut, making his wind lift him up and send him into a dumpster bin. I will only fight the one with Radiant's gift. A warrior versus a warrior. Denki steps up. Then it's a battle you'll get, he says as they lunge at each other, fist clashing. Rooftop. Dabai awakens to find himself tied up, as Momo and Shoto stand guard. He tries to burn his way out, but his flames are suppressed. That rope was meant to cancel quirks, says Momo, as she holds a metal staff. If you know what's best for you, stand down. Dabai scoffs. Brother, why would you betray us? I looked up to you. So did Fayumi and Natsuo. Yeah, and our father treated me like another tool to become one. He used us all, even mother. I understand your anger for father. I also had some resentment for him. But he is trying to change for the better. He kneels down and unties him before extending his hand. Maybe you can change too. Dabai looks at his brother and at the hand before hearing some chuckling. Well, isn't that sweet? Cue Boku no Hero Academia Ost villain's theme. The three look as Shigaraki walks over menacingly. He begins to smile sickly and sadistically. Tamura Shigaraki, says Momo as she gets in her stance, why are you here? Simple, he says as he kicks Dabai in the face and grabs his throat with 4 fingers. To cut loose ends, he almost touches the 5th finger before Shoto kicks him away. Oh, you're gonna defend your traitorous brother? He may be a traitor, but he's still family, says Shoto as his body glows with both flame and ice. The only way you're getting to him is through me. Okay, says Tamura as he punches him in the gut, knocking the wind out of his body. You'll be the first to die, he pins him to wall with his elbow. Let him go, yells Momo as she swings her staff at his head, only to be stopped by a hard kick to the gut, making her double over. Now where is Izuku Midoriya? Shoto spits in his face. Go to hell, Shigaraki raises his hand. Okay then, die. He lunges before his hand gets chopped off. He looks in shock for a sec before he starts screaming in pain, clutching the stump. What the hell? Nice try, scum, says a familiar voice. Everyone looks to see a familiar face, Spinner. Shigaraki's rage increases. I thought I killed you. My resolve kept me alive. And now you will pay for your crimes. Shigaraki holds his bleeding stump of an arm as Spinner stands in front of him, his sword pointed at him. Dabai slowly starts to come to and stands. Spinner. Never thought I'd see you again, he says. The lizard man smirks. Likewise, Dabai. Does this mean we're on the same page? For now. The two get ready to fight, as Shigaraki seethes in pain and anger. Damn you, odd Dalal, he lunges forward, only to get a fire blast to the face from Shoto, dazing him. Tamura looks up to see Momo making 2 cannons pointed at him. Take this, she unloads them at the villains, injuring him a lot and bringing him to his knees. He looks up to see Spinner standing over him. Stand down, or I'll take your other arm. Shigaraki grits his teeth before smirking. You should have killed me when you had the chance. He hits the ground, causing it to disintegrate. He falls away and escapes, much to everyone's anger. Crap, says Todoroki. We need to warn Deku and the others. I hope they're having better luck. Cue JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes of Heaven Ost Wammu Battle BGM. Denki and Crocel starts dueling, throwing everything they have at each other. Unfortunately for Denki, his regular lightning strikes are being nullified by Crocel's wind attacks. That can't be all of your power. Show me the Radiant's gift, says Crocel as he slowly starts to whittle down Denki's strength. Very well, you want it? Take it. Denki starts to take a deep breath as his body glows yellow and makes a sharp ringing noise. He then launches a bright yellow beam at his opponent, who just barely dodges, with a small part of his stomach turning to stone. You really are strong. If we weren't enemies, I'd enjoy this a bit more. Same. You seem like a decent guy, despite being a villain. Crocel prepares his next attack by outstretching his arms. Now, Divine Sandstorm. His arm turns into tornadoes that hit Denki flush in the chest and sending him into the air and crashing down to earth. The lightning user coughs blood afterwards, making his friends worry. Kaminari, calls out Deku. You have to do this. Get up, Sparky, says Bakugo. Grow a pair. Come jamming way, yells Jiru. Show me why I love you. At that, Denki starts to get up. My friends believe me. What kind of guy would I be to just quit now? He stands up and gets into a fighting stance. You have the spirit of a warrior. For that, I'll give you my most devastating move. His body starts to protrude 3 tubes on both sides of his stomach, and the horn on his forehead retracts into his head. Final mode, Atmospheric Rift. His body starts to draw in the wind through the 6 tubes, and a whip-like wind blade comes out of the hole, where his horn was. The blade slashes repeatedly at Denki, as well as slashing through some buildings as if they were paper. Denki is sent flying back into one building. The battle has been decided, says Crocel as he starts to walk away. Not yet. Cue Zenkyo-sanka by Aimer. Crocel turns around to see a bloodied but still living Denki. I'm not done yet. He brushes the dust and brick on his shoulder and legs off. You still fight? Very well, says Crocel as he prepares to attack again. Show me your resolve, they dash each other, trading blows. Denki launches a raging punch to his face, sending him flying. Crocel does his divine sandstorm attack again, only to have Denki go behind him and kick him in the side with a lightning-charged kick, sending him flying into a parked car. The lightning hero charges a bolt of lightning through his finger at the villain. Take this! The blast is fired towards Crocel, who rolls to the side out of the way. The blast hits the car's gas tank, causing it to explode. The wind user prepares his final move again. Denki closes his eyes and prepares his own finisher by charging his entire body with lightning. You are truly a worthy opponent. Tell me your name. Denki Kaminari. My hero name is Chargebolt. A superb name. I'll remember it, even in death. The attack finishes preparation. Take this, Denki Kaminari. Atmospheric Relift. The wind blade launches at Denki, who finishes charging. Ragin Fury. He launches himself at Crocel, managing to work around the wind blade and get close to him. He brings his hands back and throws them forward, unleashing a huge point-blank blast to the warrior's chest, critically damaging him as it passes through his body. Crocel is launched back, skidding on the ground. Denki heavily pants on one knee as the villain laughs. That was the most fun I've ever had. Thank you, Denki Kaminari. His body turns to stone and crumbles in the wind, being swept away in the moment. The others rush to Denki. Are you okay? Asks Jiru. Oh yeah, just a couple laceration and broken bones, he laughs. I got you, says Deku as he pulls out a med pack. Recovery Girl made these special pills. She calls them Zensu beans. They'll heal any injury in about 5 minutes. He puts one in his mouth. Denki's body starts to put itself back together. After 5 minutes, he stands up good as new. Phew, I feel better now. They suddenly hear an evil chuckle. Cues awaken from JoJo's bizarre adventure. They look up to see a Loser, jumping down in his new form. He had grown a giant pair of feather wings, his fingers had grown into claws, and his muscle tone had increased a slight bit. So you defeated Crocel. Well done, but I'm way much stronger than he is. Who are you? Says Bakugo, his gauntlets primed. I am a Loser, the one who has slain many of the Ragin gift users. And you will be next. Yeah, well, that's what all villains say before they get defeated, says Denki as he prepares to fight again. Denki, you're in no condition to fight, says Jiru. You just fought. If I back down, this man will haunt me forever and my family will never rest in peace. He gets into a stance. Bring it on. Streets, cues Street Fighter 4 theme of Seth. A Loser stands before Denki and gives him an evil smile. I'm impressed you made it this far, he says as he floats in the air, his wings flapping. That's the thing about us pro heroes, we never give up, says Denki, no matter how tough the villain is. Then show me your power, all of it, don't hold back. The demon charges at him, claws sharpened, and slashes at Denki, who just barely dodges the attack. You're fast. Same to you, says the electric superhero as he fires a concentrated lightning shot. The attack goes through a Loser's shoulder, almost ripping his arm off. Powerful attack. However, his shoulder regenerates. Utterly useless. The others look in shock. Is that his quirk? Asks Jiru. He must be able to use multiple quirks, like all for one, says Toga. A Loser charges again, with a blade coming out of his forearm. Now, time for you to die. Shigaraki's hideout, cues MHA Ost Master Criminal. Tamura rests in his hideout, seething in rage and pain from his arm. Damn them all! Damn them all! He yells as he tries to stop the bleeding. Heroes are always a pain. I hate them. He starts getting flashbacks of his past, his father's abuse, his sister ratting him out after he found out his grandmother was a hero. and his quirk manifesting for the first time, resulting in his family's death. They always just step on me, treating me like $T, one of Tamura's followers appear. Shigaraki, we have report that a Loser has encountered the heroes and engaged with Denki Kaminari. Is Midoriya among them? Yes. Good. Then when the smoke clears, I will jump and deal with those disgusting heroes. He walks to the Dr. Dharma Yujiko, who works on a prosthetic arm for Shigaraki, resistant to his quirk. Streets, Q's Akim ga kill a strong foe. Denki and a Loser engage in their deadly battle. Lightning shot, Denki fires an electrical bolt from his finger towards the villain. Heaven's wings, a Loser flaps his wings towards the shot, causing it to veer off course and hit a light pole. He sees Denki disappear and reappear behind him, his hands down at his side. Take this, ha-ah! He fire a blast point blank in his chest, leaving a hole in his chest. A Loser stumbles back, looking shocked before smiling evilly. You really think an injury like this would really faze me, he says as the hole starts to slowly close. The heroes look in shock. He can regenerate his body so fast, says Bakugo in shock. How can we stop him? Asks Deku. Prepare to die, like your ancestors. A Loser charges at him at a faster and punches Denki in the stomach, making him spit up blood. Ack, Denki chokes as he stumbles back in pain. The villain kicks him in the leg, breaking it. Ah! Denki calls Jiru in distress as she rushes to him. Oh, is this your lover? Says a Loser sinisterly as he grabs her by the throat. Let her go, yells Denki, kneeling on the ground. I'll let her go, if you let me kill you, says the villain, moving his claw near her chest. Denki, don't listen to him, says Jiru, choking. The electric hero grits his teeth as he kneels his head. Fine, just let her go. A Loser drops her before walking to Denki. Now it's time for you to join your family. He lunges at him when suddenly Denki smirks and a circle of his shooter disc are around him and consume him into a bolt of pure lightning. Yah! What? Q's Sono Kai no Satum * start at 1:50 *. Denki launches forward and hits a Loser with a lightning sphere, sending him into a building. What the hell? You really think I'd let you kill me or my friends? You're sorely mistaken. Now eat my taser punch. His fists are covered in lightning spheres, and he punches him repeatedly, ending his barrage with an uppercut. Shoryuken, a Loser tries to punch him again, only to get knocked up by another electric explosion. Damn it! How are you this strong? Because I believe in my friends. Now be gone. Denki raises his hands and crosses them, making a brilliant blue electric beam that sends his enemy flying higher into the air before the energy explodes, sending a Loser flying out of the Earth's atmosphere. No, no, damn you! A Loser yells as he finds himself in the vacuum of space. He tries to use his wings to fly back, but they start to freeze. What? No, this can't be. His body starts to drift away from Earth and freeze until he becomes completely frozen. He would never return to Earth ever again. Even when he wished to die, he couldn't. And then, he stopped thinking altogether. Denki and Jiru hug and kiss. Way to kick butt, jamming way, Jiru says before kissing him. Thanks Han, Denki says with a smile.